You're listening to the Acadiana's Morning News Podcast, brought to you by LABI and always on KPEL965.com.
An important job. And it wasn't just a job, it was keeping my brothers and sisters safe. And coming back, it felt like kind of thrown away. It's like you're useless. We don't really have a need for you now because you can't really do anything for us. That's the way I felt. If it hadn't been for Wounded Warrior Project, I honestly don't know if I would be here. It was the camaraderie that I saw and had. It was like, I got my family back again. We all felt the connection, like that brother and sisterhood.
See how Wounded Warrior Project empowers women veterans like Donna by visiting woundedwarriorproject.org/empowerwomenvets.
If you really want to support our troops, just contact the USO.
You can't believe how much they do for us.
To find out how you can help, visit us at uso.org. The USO, until everyone comes home.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette, broadcasting from the Matthew James Tax Pros studio. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
A red incursion into blue territory. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Former President Trump rallied in the Bronx.
Thank you, everybody.
In New York City.
What a crowd.
It's his first major campaign event in New York in 8 years, drawing an estimated 25,000 supporters when only 3,500 were initially expected to attend. The former president was met with cheers and excitement from supporters as he vows to cut taxes and turn New York City around.
Fox's Brooke Singman. Former President Trump tells Fox he went to the Bronx because
I love the people. They're incredible. They're energetic. They're entrepreneurial, and they're going to save New York.
But not everyone who showed up was a Trump supporter. There was a Trump's Not Welcome in the Bronx counter rally in the strongly Democratic area. The former president has lost 2 more appeals related to his New York criminal trial. Closing arguments are Tuesday. Israel's army went into Gaza and found the bodies of 3 more hostages Hamas killed and took in the October 7th terror attack that triggered the war.
42-year-old Hanania Blanca was from Tel Aviv. He was a father of 2. 30-year-old Orion Hernandez Radu was a Mexican-French tourist, and he was at the music festival with his girlfriend, Shani Luke, whose body was found just last week. And 59-year-old Mikhail Nissenbaum lived in nearby Sderot. He was an Israeli-Brazilian dual citizen and a father as well as a grandfather.
Fox's Alex Hogan. 3 American troops were injured, 1 critically working at the floating pier the U.S. built to deliver more humanitarian aid to Gaza civilians. In Papua New Guinea,
the South Pacific island nation, which lies just north of Australia, one village has been completely buried, with video showing locals pulling out bodies from under rocks and trees. While current estimates put the number of dead above 100, villagers say the true figure could be much higher.
Fox's Jonathan Savage on a landslide. America's listening to Fox News.
Since 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been committed to supporting our nation's first responders and veterans. They support America's heroes like U.S. Army Major Jonathan Turnbull. Now, Major Turnbull sustained devastating injuries at the hands of an ISIS suicide bomber. Tunnel to Towers gave him a specially adapted smart home designed for his needs. Join Tunnel to Towers. They're hoping all of us will donate $11 a month so this great work continues. Their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their 2nd month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
It is stormy again in Iowa. A tornado warning in effect this morning in some areas. Days after tornadoes killed 5 people in Iowa, twisting the small city of Greenfield apart. And this could be a rough year for hurricanes.
And NOAA will start using a new cone graphic, which includes all inland risks, like what happens beyond the forecast track and inland.
And this is a way that we can show everyone in the public and give everybody in the media a graphic to show, to say, wow, there's sure a lot of impacts outside that cone, right? The graphic is so powerful because it means more than me saying, hey, there's impacts outside the cone.
National Weather Service Director Ken Graham, the seasonal outlook calls for as many as 25 named storms and up to 13 hurricanes, 7 of which could be major. In Broward County, Florida, Eben Brown, Fox News.
Live Nation and Ticketmaster plan to fight the lawsuit filed by the Justice Department in 30 states trying to break up the two companies.
It claims fans pay higher prices because of their control over ticketing for live events, ownership of concert venues, and management of hundreds of artists. In response, the companies getting sued say it's absurd to claim that Live Nation and Ticketmaster are wielding monopoly power. This lawsuit, they say, won't reduce ticket prices or service fees.
That's Fox Business Network's Grady Trimble. On Wall Street, stock futures are up modestly, coming off the worst day for the Dow in more than a year, plunging 605 points on inflation concerns. In the NBA playoffs, the Celtics just 2 wins away from the finals.
Celtics scored the first 17 points of the period. Brown knocks it down. He's got 40.
Jaylen Brown led Boston to a 126-110 win over Indiana on ESPN. The Celtics now lead the Pacers 2-0 in the Eastern Conference Finals. On the ice in Dallas, the Edmonton Oilers beat the Stars in double overtime, winning the opening game of the NHL Western Conference Final 3-2. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Your 24/7 news source, on air, online, and with the KPEL News app. Now the headlines from the KPEL News Center.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Wertz with a look at news on this Friday, May 24th. A few big Republican-backed education wins in the Louisiana Senate. The Finance Committee voted to reinstate $33 million in cuts the House made to fund teacher stipends. Under the latest budget plan, teachers could receive a $2,000 stipend like they did this school year. Support personnel would receive $1,000. The Senate committee also restored $24 million to early childhood education programs that would eliminate the loss of service to young children. The full Senate is sending 2 House measures to the governor's desk. One is the so-called Don't Say Gay bill that bans discussions of gender identity and sexual orientation in the classroom. The other forbids public and private schools, colleges, and daycares from requiring that students have the COVID-19 vaccine. More than $1 million in illegal narcotics are off the streets of Lafayette Parish after sheriff's narcotics agents and SWAT team members confiscated 14 pounds of methamphetamine from a home on Vero School Road. Wednesday's seizure was part of an ongoing investigation that resulted in the arrest of 23-year-old Jada Bontavolio and 23-year-old Christian Archangel. Both were charged with possession with intent to distribute a Schedule II narcotic. Archangel was also booked on a charge of transactions involving the proceeds from drug activity. An electrical issue with a fan caused a fire in a storage room at Judy's Middle School Wednesday night. First responders were alerted by the school's alarm system of a potential issue. Lafayette firefighters arrived and quickly extinguished the fire, but the room and several band instruments were heavily damaged by smoke and water. Lafayette Mayor President Monique Blanco-Boulay will announce who the interim police chief will be at a press conference Tuesday morning. Boulay says a nationwide search is being conducted to find a replacement for Judith Estorge, who is stepping down from the position. The mayor-president says they will be intentional in finding the right candidate for the job to mitigate upheaval in the Lafayette Police Department. NOAA is predicting 17 to 25 named storms, 8 to 13 hurricanes, and 4 to 7 major hurricanes this year. It's the most severe hurricane forecast ever produced by the government weather agency, and it's because of warm sea surface temperatures and La Nina, which allows for more tropical development. Hurricane season begins June 1st. Louisiana vehicle inspection stickers issued for the 2026 year are fading. State troopers are aware of the defect that causes the yellow background to become clear or white. Vehicle owners who received a sticker from January 1 of this year until now may notice that fading, but the inspection tags will remain valid. No action is required from owners. Travelers through the New Orleans airport will now be allowed to use the LA Wallet app as identification. Louisiana residents can present the mobile driver's license or ID card at select TSA checkpoints. The agent will verify the user's identity and they can breeze through security. 26 other airports across the United States will also accept ID through LA Wallet. Real ID compliant credentials are required to use the app with TSA equipment. The Ragin' Cajuns baseball team fell to James Madison last night 10-9. A 3-run seventh-inning homer by James Madison's Ryan Dooley helped the team overcome a 6-run deficit. The second loss in the Sunbelt Conference Championship knocked the Cajuns out. They will find out on Monday where their destination will be for the NCAA Regionals. That's a look at your news. I'm Tracy Wards.
This hour of Acadiana's Morning News has been brought to you by Jani King. The King of Clean has been a leader in the cleaning industry on the Gulf Coast for over 35 years. To find out more about their cleaning and disinfecting services, head to their website at janiking.com. The Cajun Heartland State Fair is happening now through June 2nd. The fair is celebrating its 36th anniversary, and you can get the News Talk 96.5 KPEL Mega Pack now. The Mega Pack includes 4 ride wristbands and 4 fair admission vouchers for only $125 each. And you can redeem them on any day of the fair that you choose. Save now when you score the News Talk 96.5 KPEL Mega Pack. Just $125. Get yours today. You can buy the Mega Pack at the Cajun Dome box office or online at CajunDome.com. LUS presents the Cajun Heartland State Fair now through June 2nd at the Cajun Dome. Experience the wild rides on the Gold Star Midway or great bands nightly at the Coca-Cola Grandstand. Or check out the free family entertainment like Scott's World of Magic. Learn more at CajunDome.com or KPEL965.com and click on the Cajun Dome link. Brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL, where Acadiana comes to talk.
Plenty of sunshine across Acadiana coming up here over the next couple of days. Temperatures are going to push their way to about 91 degrees this afternoon with a heat index a little bit closer to 100. Winds will be from the south at 10 to 15 miles an hour, and overnight lows are going to be in the mid to upper 70s. Same kind of forecast going into tomorrow. It stays hot and fairly humid over the weekend. A couple isolated showers possible by Monday, with better rain chances arriving on Tuesday. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
No accidents on the roadways early this morning. That's good news. You're waking up, though, and it's 80 degrees already. KPEL News Time is 6:13. Happy Friday. Tracy Words, Mark Pope. Mark, it's Friday.
Friday. Good morning.
Right?
Everybody.
I don't want to holler hump day, because there's still 2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. It's like, okay, halfway there, but I really want to celebrate Friday.
Well, next Friday, May ends.
Yes.
And not tomorrow, but next Saturday, June 1.
Yeah.
My, how time flies.
My birthday and the start of hurricane season.
Wow.
That is probably not a coincidence.
I understand.
It is May the 24th. Excuse me. Let's see what today is. It is International Tiara Day. I don't know why, but I should have celebrated accordingly.
Yeah.
It's Brothers' Day. Yeah, like celebrating your brothers. Do you have brothers?
I have
Mark?
a brother.
One?
I have a brother, yes. I have to wish him Happy Brother's Day.
I have 5.
Wow.
Yeah. So, I got a lot. It would take me a while.
Yep.
It's Don't Fry Day, meaning wear your sunscreen. National Scavenger Hunt Day. That would be fun to do. And by the way, speaking of scavenger hunts, the Games of Acadiana is a scavenger hunt this year. And you can play now. And those are always fun. Play with the family. Let's see what else. Today is National Road Trip Day. A lot of folks heading off for the weekend. And it is always the Friday before Memorial Day. Because remember, we do have a 3-day weekend.
That's right.
Did we mention National Cooler Day? Like beer cooler, soft drink cooler. Yeah. We call them ice chest.
The ice chest.
Down here.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's some things for you to celebrate today accordingly. Have fun with. On this date in 1926, Paavo Nurmi ran a world record time of 3,000 meters in 8 minutes, 25 seconds. Is that the Rob Winky Dinky Dog's in here and he's a runner, so that's a big deal, huh? Yeah, that's a big deal. On this date in 1883, President Arthur and New York Governor Cleveland opened the Brooklyn Bridge. In 1935, the first Major League Baseball game to be played at night took place at Cincinnati's Crossley Field as the Reds beat the Philadelphia Phillies. In 1844, Samuel F.B. Morse transmitted the message, "What hath got wrought?" from Washington to Baltimore as he formally opened America's first telegraph line. Morse code. You think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh. On this date in 1980, Iran rejected a call by the World Court in The Hague to release the American hostages. And I put this in there specifically because I've heard the question come up about what major story represented the first time in your life that you were aware that things were international, that things were going on. What news story kind of started your interest or were you aware of? Now, while I was alive for Nixon's resignation and a couple of other things prior to that in the early 70s, I was about 9 years old when the Iran hostage scandal was going on, and I remember that vividly. I was very young, and that was the first story.
Yeah.
On this date in 2022, an 18-year-old gunman opened fire at an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas, killing 19 children and 2 teachers. And Mark, this week they settled a lawsuit in relation to this particular
Is that right?
shooting. Yes, they
Hadn't
did.
heard about that one.
That's what happened on this date in history and some things to celebrate. It is Memorial Day weekend, so the unofficial start of summer. Coming up next, Winky Dinky Dog is in here. We've got some strange but true as we go to the movies. KPEL News Time is 6:17.
Fox on Tech.
TikTok wants you to know it's fighting politicized influence campaigns in the U.S. and beyond. TikTok is facing a potential forced sale or ban in the United States over concerns the video-centric social media platform allows China's Communist Party a way to influence young Americans while harvesting data. TikTok is always denied they are under control or direction of China's government. And now in a blog post, TikTok is promising to divulge whatever it finds out about influence campaigns on its network. The platform, owned by China-based ByteDance, says it will unveil and remove accounts or networked accounts engaging in attempts to sway political discourse. It also claims it suspended 15 operations already they claim were targeting voters in the U.S. and were based in the People's Republic of China. The new TikTok law requires a sale to a U.S. operator by January of next year. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
Hi, I'm Dale Brown, best-selling techno-thriller author. I'm also a mission pilot and squadron commander in the Civil Air Patrol. The members of the Civil Air Patrol are volunteer professionals who serve their communities and their nation every day with emergency services, aerospace education, and cadet programs. We train hard, we fly hard, and we get the job done for America. Join the Civil Air Patrol. Visit www.gocivilairpatrol.com and let's go flying.
Bikers Against Child Abuse, BACA, exists with the intent to create a safer environment for abused children. We exist as a body of bikers to empower children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. We stand ready to lend support to our wounded friends by involving them with an established, united organization. If you'd like to know more about BACA, please visit our website at bacaworld.org or call 1-866-71-ABUSE.
Plenty of sunshine across Acadiana coming up here over the next couple of days. Temperatures are going to push their way to about 91 degrees this afternoon with a heat index a little bit closer to 100. Winds will be from the south at 10 to 15 miles an hour, and overnight lows are going to be in the mid to upper 70s. Same kind of forecast going into tomorrow. It stays hot and fairly humid over the weekend. A couple isolated showers possible by Monday, with better rain chances arriving on Tuesday. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5. KPEL. Right now, traffic.
All right, taking a look at the traffic board. Still clear this morning. Current temperature, 80 degrees. You ready to sing it? Been working. Oh, that's the... I was going to sing with it. That's the instrumental version. I won't sing because I would like for you to stay here listening to us in the morning.
Don't run them off.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. But we're playing Footloose because Winky Dinky Dog is in with Strange But True. And our movie edition started a few weeks ago. And this week...
Footloose.
Hot dog.
Hot dog, huh?
Yes.
Back before it was a line dance.
Yeah. Yes. And really, Kevin Bacon's entree.
Basically, yes. He was in a couple of movies. He was in Animal House and a couple other, but usually small roles. This was it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This was it, his breakout. And he is married, by the way, to Kira Sedgwick, who is one of my favorites.
Really?
And yeah, as Hollywood marriages go, here's might be a strange but true for you. They have been married for like 30 or 35 years.
That's awesome.
Yeah, for a really long time. They're funny if you want to follow them on social media. It warms my heart that they've been together that long. Anyway, there you go. All right, so it's your turn.
The original title to the film was called Cheek to Cheek. But as the writer was writing, he's kind of writing down ideas, and then it became Footloose and Fancy Free, and then eventually he shortened it to Footloose.
Oh, so smart. So smart.
The Footloose story was inspired by a real-life case from Oklahoma, where in 1978, a group of teens challenged an 82-year-old ban on dancing in the town in Elmore City. The junior class at the high school won their challenge, got permission to have a prom, making national news while the town itself was given its claim to fame. In fact, today, Elmore City hosts an annual Footloose Festival, and this one was held on April 20th.
Nice.
That's exactly right. The theme song by Kenny Loggins, he's actually in the movie. There's a scene where a lot of feet are going on. He is one of the shoes.
I know exactly which scene you're talking
I'm trying to
about.
remember it. I can't. Footloose was mostly shot in and around the town of Payson, Utah. The high school is Payson High School. In fact, the school where it was filmed has changed very little since the movie. And this is my best fun fact. Ren's locker, which appears several times in the movie, is still there. And it's marked on the inside with a plaque that begins, "Congrats, you got Kevin Bacon's locker."
No kidding.
Yes.
How cool is that?
I know. So nobody knows, and you just open it up, and now you got Kevin Bacon's locker.
Wow.
Unfortunately, the school is set to be torn down soon.
But I hope they save the locker.
Yeah. Interesting parallel. Bacon actually did attend classes at Payson briefly in the 80s, posing as a student named Ren McCormick from Philadelphia. He was treated pretty badly, like in the movie, and left after a few hours. He was picked on.
How?
He got bullied.
Yeah. Well, nobody knew him at the time.
Exactly.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
The scene where Ren teaches Willard, played by Chris Penn, to dance was added to the movie for later on because Penn really didn't know how to dance.
That was so smart, though.
Yeah.
You know, you can still see him.
Yep. So that way he was actually teaching him. The ending of the movies almost turned out to be completely different. It's the original ending, based on our early audience feedback, was nixed and replaced by the energetic dancing scene we know. It was shot nearly a year after the movie was already kind of done. In the original, he just runs in and says, "Let's dance." And then they just have a whole bunch of glitter and stuff falling from the scene.
No.
Later on, they hired a bunch of dancers so they can have a big dance scene and big party.
It would, in my opinion, it would not be as big without that, because that's still when I think of Footloose, that's the scene that comes to mind.
Right. And Chris Penn's too.
Well, I like that too. But when you say Footloose, I'd see her in the dress. I see him dancing, and anyway.
Bacon wasn't the first choice. Like most other movies, Tom Cruise was the actor. He was busy filming All the Right Moves. Rob Lowe also auditioned, but he couldn't take the role due to an injury. The female lead, taken on by Ariel Moore, played by Laurie Singer, attracted many famous auditioners, including Madonna, Meg Ryan, Heather Locklear, Brooke Shields, Jamie Lee Curtis, and Phoebe Cates.
Wow.
Daryl Hannah was offered the role, but she turned it down to play in Splash with Tom Hanks.
That was a good movie, too.
Bacon admitted that he was pretty nervous for his scene in front of the town council and had to take an anti-anxiety pill to calm himself down. It's one thing to be in front of cameras. It's another thing to be in front of real people, right? He broke out in hives on his chest and had to take a Valium to calm down the nerves.
Funny.
Footloose did not get really good reviews back in '84. Roger Ebert of Siskel and Ebert, he called it a seriously confused movie that tries to do three things and does them all badly. It wants to tell a story of a conflict in a town. It wants to introduce some flashy teenage characters. And part of the time, it wants to be a music video.
Well, you know what, Roger Ebert? Wrong.
Yep. John Lithgow, who played the preacher, needed help channeling his character of Reverend Shaw. So he found an Assembly of God's minister in the Yellow Pages. He told him he was on location shooting a movie and was lonely and wanted to learn more about Christ.
Wow.
So they sat down and talked, and he basically learned how to be
a preacher.
Yep. Let's see here. Kevin Bacon did most of his own dancing, while the talented Bacon did much of his own dancing in the movie. He did have a stunt double, a dance double, and 2 gymnastic doubles.
In the scene when he was in the barn or garage or
the warehouse.
Warehouse, that's it. Yeah.
Yep. In an interview with CNN, he expressed his disappointment that he couldn't have performed some of the more I'm off
Slow
this morning.
down. It's okay.
Some of the more sophisticated dance moves and flipped in the iconic warehouse scene. He was not happy about it, and Bacon said in a 2011 interview, "It's like starting pitcher getting taken out of the game. No one wants to be told they can't get the guy out."
That's awesome. You got a couple more.
You're done? I underestimate the amount of time that I have to sit there and do this. Yes.
Well, pull and edit. Which one? Something you edited something?
I did not.
Well, in the feet scene, somebody said you didn't remember the feet scene. That is right at the end of the movie, I'm sure, when they're in the warehouse dancing, the feed house, the big the prom at the end, and they video the feet stomping. I bet you that's the scene.
I'm telling you, as I was writing it, I was trying to remember that scene. I have not. I've seen it on TV. TBS kind of reruns it all the time, but I just flipped past it. I only remember seeing it the one time I took a girl on a date that I wanted to take to senior prom, because I think this came out my senior year of high school. And that was about the only time I really saw the whole movie, because I was more interested in the date.
Well, of course you were. But I know, I'm telling you, that's the scene. They're at the prom and they're stomping and you can hear the music. I mean, I can see it in my head. Anyway, as you can tell, I watched a lot of movies in the 80s.
Yeah. So did I, but they were, not,
they weren't that. They weren't
not a movie guy.
Footloose.
After Smoking the Bandit was a cinematic masterpiece. Everything went down, and
the
only reason I watched movies after that because it was probably date related.
Oh, well.
Yeah. Hey, there's one for you. Do Smokey and the Bandit.
I've done it.
Are you here?
How long ago?
Not here.
Yeah,
How long
within
ago?
the past? Not here. I did it on the dog one weekend.
You see?
Yes. Smokey and the Bandit. There you have it.
You want to do that next weekend?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, no. Yes, I'll be here Friday. I'll leave. Yep. All right, so I'll do Smokey and the Bandit on Friday.
Yeah.
How about that?
All right.
Sounds good to me. And remember, if you're out there and you would like for him to dig up some dirt on movies, you can do that. Now you'll be gone for a couple weekends after that.
I'm used to doing 1-minute segments on the dog. I'm not used to having an entire 10-minute segment.
Well, and you don't have to fill it. We'll just, we'll work with you.
And I appreciate you letting me in early, because I did something dumb and I have to drive back home before I go to the office.
But drive slowly.
Yes.
Observe the speed limit.
KPEL News Time is 6:30.
Commission.
The Rustic Renegade is your one-stop shop in Lafayette for firearms, concealment furniture, men's grooming products, and our locally roasted coffee.
KPEL covers Acadiana with Lowry's Printing and Copying.
Registration for Games of Acadiana, Acadiana's ultimate scavenger hunt, is now open. The virtual scavenger hunt is free with over 75 missions or adventures available, and it's great fun for the entire family. Get more details at milesperret.org/GOA. 2024 Sheriff Mark Garber Youth Golf Tournament, 2 days, Wednesday, June 26th and Thursday, June 27th. The 26th for 6 to 11-year-olds and the 27th accommodates 12 to 17-year-olds. All the activities of the tournament are free. It's at the Hebert Municipal Golf Course on Mudd Avenue. There are also free instructional clinics Tuesday, June 18th through June 20th. Get more details about this great golf tournament. You get a T-shirt, drinks, and lunch for the kids. Call 337-456-6596.
This hour brought to you by the Matthew James Tax Pros. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
Your 24/7 news source, on air, online, and with the KPEL News app. Now the headlines from the KPEL News Center.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Wertz with a look at news on this Friday, May 24th. A few big Republican-backed education wins in the Louisiana Senate. The Finance Committee voted to reinstate $33 million in cuts the House made to fund teacher stipends. Under the latest budget plan, teachers could receive a $2,000 stipend like they did this school year. Support personnel would receive $1,000. The Senate committee also restored $24 million to early childhood education programs that would eliminate the loss of service to young children. The full Senate is sending two House measures to the governor's desk. One is the so-called Don't Say Gay bill that bans discussions of gender identity and sexual orientation in the classroom. The other forbids public and private schools, colleges, and daycares from requiring that students have the COVID-19 vaccine. More than $1 million in illegal narcotics are off the streets of Lafayette Parish after sheriff's narcotics agents and SWAT team members confiscated 14 pounds of methamphetamine from a home on Vero School Road. Wednesday's seizure was part of an ongoing investigation that resulted in the arrest of 23-year-old Jada Bontavolio and 23-year-old Christian Archangel. Both were charged with possession with intent to distribute a Schedule II narcotic. Archangel was also booked on a charge of transactions involving the proceeds from drug activity. An electrical issue with a fan caused a fire in a storage room at Judy's Middle School Wednesday night. First responders were alerted by the school's alarm system of a potential issue. Lafayette firefighters arrived and quickly extinguished the fire, but the room and several band instruments were heavily damaged by smoke and water. Lafayette Mayor President Monique Blanco-Boulay will announce who the interim police chief will be at a press conference Tuesday morning. Boulay says a nationwide search is being conducted to find a replacement for Judith Estorge, who is stepping down from the position. The mayor-president says they will be intentional in finding the right candidate for the job to mitigate upheaval in the Lafayette Police Department. NOAA is predicting 17 to 25 named storms, 8 to 13 hurricanes, and 4 to 7 major hurricanes this year. It's the most severe hurricane forecast ever produced by the government weather agency, and it's because of warm sea surface temperatures and La Nina, which allows for more tropical development. Hurricane season begins June 1st. Louisiana vehicle inspection stickers issued for the 2026 year are fading. State troopers are aware of the defect that causes the yellow background to become clear or white. Vehicle owners who received a sticker from January 1 of this year until now may notice that fading, but the inspection tags will remain valid. No action is required from owners. Travelers through the New Orleans airport will now be allowed to use the LA Wallet app as identification. Louisiana residents can present the mobile driver's license or ID card at select TSA checkpoints. The agent will verify the user's identity, and they can breeze through security. 26 other airports across the United States will also accept ID through LA Wallet. Real ID-compliant credentials are required to use the app with TSA equipment. The Ragin' Cajuns baseball team fell to James Madison last night, 10-9. A 3-run seventh-inning homer by James Madison's Ryan Dooley helped the team overcome a 6-run deficit. The second loss in the Sun Belt Conference Championship knocked the Cajuns out. They will find out on Monday where their destination will be for the NCAA Regionals. That's a look at your news. I'm Tracy Wertz.
Pack your bags. We want to send you and a guest to experience the magic of Def Leppard's Summer Stadium Rock Tour this August. We want to fly you and a guest to San Antonio, Texas, where you'll see Def Leppard, Journey, and the Steve Miller Band in concert at the one and only Alamo Dome. What do you need to do? It's simple. Just listen to News Talk 96.5 KPEL weekdays for the codes you'll need to enter. Every day between now and June 7th at 9, 12, and 3 p.m., you're going to get a code. Enter that into the KPEL app, and you've got a chance to win. You'll get 2 tickets to see Def Leppard with Journey and the Steve Miller Band at the Alamo Dome on Friday, August 16th. Round-trip airfare for 2 to San Antonio, a 2-night hotel stay, and $500 spending money. If you don't have the KPEL app, you need to download it immediately. Listen every day at 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 3 p.m. for your chance to win tickets to the Summer Stadium Rock Tour with Def Leppard and Journey on News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Hey folks, it's Joe, and you have heard me talk several times about my time in the classroom here in Lafayette Parish being a teacher, and throughout those years had come across students who had been experiencing or had experienced homelessness. And I'm here with David Owens of Gifting Grace Project to talk a little bit about the work they do assisting kids in Lafayette who are experiencing the same thing.
That's right, Joe. The Gifting Grace Project is Acadiana's homeless children's outreach, and we are proud to be the outreach for these children in Acadiana, providing them with backpacks with school supplies, hygiene products, meal vouchers, and more. Go to giftinggraceproject.com to help us out and make a difference today. Or you can text GGP to 53555 and get more information that way and make your donation as well.
Folks, there's nothing more important than helping our most vulnerable, our kids. They are the future, and we need to do everything we can for them. And that's why David and I are here today asking you to support Gifting Grace Project.
Get involved today. Thank you.
Bikers Against Child Abuse, BACA, exists with the intent to create a safer environment for abused children. We exist as a body of bikers to empower children to not feel afraid of the world in which they live. We stand ready to lend support to our wounded friends by involving them with an established, united organization. We work in conjunction with local and state officials who are already in place to protect children. We desire to send a clear message to all involved with the abused child that this child is part of our organization and that we are prepared to lend our physical and emotional support to them by affiliation and our physical presence. We stand at the ready to shield these children from further abuse. We do not condone the use of violence or physical force in any manner. However, if circumstances arise such that we are the only obstacle preventing a child from further abuse, we stand ready to be that obstacle. If you'd like to know more about BACA, please visit our website at bacaworld.org or call 1-866-71-ABUSE.
Plenty of sunshine across Acadiana coming up here over the next couple of days. Temperatures are going to push their way to about 91 degrees this afternoon with a heat index a little bit closer to 100. Winds will be from the south at 10 to 15 miles an hour, and overnight lows are going to be in the mid to upper 70s. Same kind of forecast going into tomorrow. It stays hot and fairly humid over the weekend. A couple isolated showers possible by Monday, with better rain chances arriving on Tuesday. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
Still clear. Good news on a Friday morning. Current temperature, 80 degrees. KPEL News Time is 6:41. Tracy Wertz, Mark Pope, and Mark, I figured I needed some of that hard, almost angry music because immigration, let's not secure America yet, okay? Let's just not secure America quite yet.
Come visit us later.
That's right. Anyway, Speaker Mike Johnson issued a statement yesterday after the failed Senate immigration bill. And you yesterday mentioned H.R. 2. And this is the statement released following the Senate once again rejecting Chuck Schumer's immigration proposal he tried to disguise as border security legislation, according to the release from Speaker Mike Johnson. He says instead of considering H.R. 2, House Republicans' legislation that would immediately secure the border, Senator Schumer once again wasted time today voting on an immigration bill that doesn't secure the border, incentivizes further illegal immigration, and has no chance of passing either the House or the Senate. After more than 3 years of claiming the situation at our southern border was not a crisis, while millions of illegals poured in, congressional Democrats are attempting to throw an election year Hail Mary to cover for their embrace of President Biden's open border policy. He wraps it up by saying, in the absence of a substantive legislative solution, Senator Schumer should join House Republicans in demanding President Biden reverse course and use his executive authority to finally secure the border and protect American families.
Yeah. Sounds like a standoff to me.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Going to happen over there in the Capitol building. Ooh, Lordy. Yeah, I found an article right along those lines. I know that the speaker made this official statement, but he was also on a Fox News program.
Yes.
And the headline from that summary of that program was, is Speaker Johnson on Fox? Senate bill is not border security bill. It's an immigration bill. And he says that in his statement.
Yes.
But, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, and you have talked about HR2, the Secure the Border Act. It was the most stringent border security measure ever passed by Congress. And Speaker Johnson said we passed that through the House over a year ago. It's been sitting on Chuck Schumer's desk collecting dust. This is the transcription from Mike Johnson's appearance on Fox. He says the reason they won't touch it is because it would actually solve the problem.
Yep. Would release or reinstate, this is continuing from that statement, it would reinstate remain in Mexico, which means that people wanting to cross the border had to stay in Mexico while their request, if you will, asylum request was being reviewed. And let's see, would end catch and release, would end that program, which the Biden administration has been doing ad nauseum. So, it's I tell you what, and plus the Senate bill, this is what I heard Ted Cruz say last week on a talk show, is that two things. It would codify, meaning bring into federal law, which Speaker Johnson references, 5,000 illegals a day. It would allow that. And it would also codify catch and release.
Which,
crazy.
I said it yesterday. I'm going to say it again. I don't get that. Oh, we're going to let 5,000 people every day break the law.
Yeah.
So here's the law, and we're going to make another law that says 5,000 people can come into the country illegally.
Right.
Essentially breaking the law. I
don't
can't understand how that's constitutional. I certainly don't understand how it's good for the American people.
Okay, let me do a disclaimer for myself. If you want to sign on to it, that's okay. I believe in immigration.
Right.
Fair-minded Americans do believe in immigration.
Agreed.
Yes, the cliche is true. We are a country of immigrants. If done legally, we need immigrants. But to have it done legally, it's just not fair. So we're having this discussion, and they say, "Why are you guys so negative?" We're not negative, but do it right. There is a process. These people need to be vetted. There are terrorists coming across our border. I saw a number last night that it has increased 2,000, like 2,100% illegal suspected terrorists. Under Donald Trump, 14 had crossed the border that had been verified. The number under Joe Biden, I believe, I'm going from memory, 267. 2,000, excuse me. So it's just wild, but it has to be done right. And by the way, another thing when they do the census, and you fill out the census, if you check a box, and Speaker Johnson addresses this on that Fox program, which is, what's her name? I can't think of the program right now, excuse me. But anyway, you check the box, it says, I'm a U.S. citizen, and you have that is basically, you're signing up to vote when you check that box, but there's no way to verify that you truly are an American citizen. And they're going to propose Republicans under Johnson, are going to propose some legislation to solve that problem. Washington, D.C. just gave illegals the right to vote in local elections.
Right. And we will talk about non-citizen voting because there were some things that came up yesterday as it relates to non-citizen voting. But I'll close out this segment before we talk about that with this. When you ask a police officer, trooper, like when Trooper was here, if the speed limit says 70 and I go 72, can you give me a ticket? He said, absolutely, because the law says 70. You have to, will they? Maybe or maybe not. But is it illegal? Yes. And if you go over that speed limit, there's no grace period. And it feels like that's what they're trying to do with illegals. Give them a grace period. Whereas me and you and people who are in this country legally have to follow the laws. I don't understand why the standards are different. That's my problem.
Yep.
That's my issue with the whole thing. KBEL News Time is 6:48.
Securing America.
A Wednesday Senate Armed Services Subcommittee hearing centered on the budget for the Defense Department's nuclear program for fiscal year 2025. Independent Senator Angus King of Maine on the U.S.'s nuclear challenge.
Now we face two heavily nuclear-armed near-peer competitors, Russia and China.
Air Force General Thomas Boussier testified that North Korea and Iran are also factors, making America's nuclear strength and capability even more important.
The nuclear deterrence mission is the bedrock of our national defense strategy and foundational to our nation's defense and essential to that of our allies and partners.
Navy Vice Admiral Johnny Wolf testified the status quo is not good enough, and General Boussier warned a major investment is needed because right now,
our operational margin is razor thin. Our resources are stretched to their limits.
Kevin Uretsky, Fox News.
Plenty of sunshine across Acadiana coming up here over the next couple of days. Temperatures are going to push their way to about 91 degrees this afternoon with a heat index a little bit closer to 100. Winds will be from the south at 10 to 15 miles an hour, and overnight lows are going to be in the mid to upper 70s. Same kind of forecast going into tomorrow. It stays hot and fairly humid over the weekend. A couple isolated showers possible by Monday, with better rain chances arriving on Tuesday. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
We still have a clear traffic board at 6:51 in the morning. That's good. Current temperature, though, as the sun comes up, 80 degrees. Good morning and welcome back into Acadiana's Morning News. Tracy Wertz, Mark Pope, thank you so much for joining us. We were talking about the failed immigration border, call it what you will, bill that Senator Chuck Schumer put forth yesterday that failed miserably, unexpectedly failed, right?
Yeah.
And then House Speaker Mike Johnson appeared on Fox News and address the issue of preventing non-citizen voting. The D.C. City Council, this came out yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
The Washington, D.C. City Council decided, he said, they want illegals to vote in local elections. And that's a real problem because all you have to do is reside in D.C. for 30 days. You can participate in the election. That means Russian spies, Chinese officials, enemies of freedom will help decide who the mayor is in D.C. and who sits on the council. Imagine that. And you wonder if that's just the first domino to fall.
I think it's quite possible. It's not a good thing.
No.
It is not a good thing as to who's behind it and what's its intended purpose. I don't know that. None of us do, but I agree with that. It's quite possible what you just said is it the first domino to fall because good things will not follow from that.
I am definitely having and have had for the last few weeks a make it make sense moment. You know what? Tell me how this is legal in this country to allow illegal citizens to vote. You know, you do have people who come in on visas. You have people who come in bearing a passport. You have people who visit here, even people who live and work here, but are not citizens and are not allowed to vote.
Right.
So they are living in this country. They are living here legally. They are working here legally. They can't vote. But these people who don't do things properly can participate in one of the most important functions of the democratic process.
Well, there's that word, Tracy, Democrat. Look, this is not conspiracy theory. What's happening with the illegals and giving them all these rights and costing our federal budget and state budgets for that matter.
Yep.
Trillions of dollars when you add it all up and put it in one big pot. It's for perpetual power for the Democrat Party because they know that these illegals getting all these benefits are indebted to the Democrat Party. I mean, it's plain and simple. And as Mayorkas has been head of Homeland Security, he's been on the hot seat, but they've never asked him, justify for me why you're allowing all these millions of illegals to come into our country and wreak havoc on so many different things, education, health care, budgets on a local, state, and federal level. Why are you doing it?
Make it make sense, because right now it just doesn't. And to me, there's an obvious answer for reasonable, rational people. I believe that we need to look out for our brothers and sisters and take care of one another, etc. But it doesn't need to look like it does now. There are ways. This is just not it. That allowing them to come over and essentially rape our system and take advantage of taxpayers because they are utilizing that money because they're here illegally. I have a problem with that. And like you, I have no problem with immigration done correctly. Come into the country. We're illegal. We're a nation of immigrants. So
one thing to as we end is that I heard California, the hot spot now for illegals coming across the border is San Diego, and that's because the California state government under Governor Gavin Newsom they're offering all these benefits, and it's running an already stressed California government budget into the ground.
KPEL News Time, 6:56.
The Fox Business Report is brought to you by Gulf Coast Bank, your local community bank. Whether your financial needs are for an individual, a business, or for the whole family, Gulf Coast Bank has the knowledge and products to serve you best. With 9 convenient locations throughout Acadiana, you're never far from a friendly Gulf Coast Bank associate.
I'm Elizabeth McDonald, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Stock futures are pointing to some recovery after yesterday's Wall Street sell-off. The Dow dropped 606 points. Investors are concerned that interest rates will remain higher for longer. Atlanta Fed President Raphael Bostic expects interest rates to hold steady for the long haul and suggests the Fed's goal of 2% inflation could be a way off. Another crypto investment could be coming. The Securities and Exchange Commission has approved critical rule changes that will allow exchange-traded funds holding Ether. It's the second largest digital asset after Bitcoin. Tesla has cut production of its Model Y SUV at its factory in Shanghai in response to softer demand in China. Low-priced Chinese models are cutting into its sales. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Coselda, invested in you.
Donald Trump Jr. here. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back, but you can stop your losses by diversifying into a gold IRA from my friends at Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold now.
Message and data rates may
Bullet points.
I'm Eben Brown. The U.S. Supreme Court is declining to take up a case against Maryland's ban on semi-automatic rifles, what they like to call assault weapons. Maryland enacted the ban following the Sandy Hook mass shooting in Connecticut in 2012. But this doesn't mean the challenge to the ban is dead. Following the High Court's ruling in 2022 in the New York case that declared many of the state's restrictive gun laws as unconstitutional, the justices directed the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals to review the ban in Maryland, which had been challenged before. And this review is underway still. The plaintiffs in the case, which include Second Amendment advocates, wanted the High Court to get involved now, saying the appeals court is taking too long. This refusal means the appeals court case is still in motion, even if it means it's not closer to resolution. And those are your bullet points. I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
A big Trump rally In a big Democratic stronghold. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News.
We are going to turn New York City around.
The former president in the Bronx saying he'll clean up the city.
We have mobs of migrants fighting our police officers and giving America the middle finger.
Thousands were at the rally. Two of them tell Fox.
It's time for a change in leadership. We've been voting down the same party for years now.
For me to come and think Republican and think Donald Trump and say it's time to right a wrong for him, it's time to right that wrong that they're doing to him, that's coming from the heart.
Democrats led a Trump's not welcome in the Bronx counter-protest.
After attacking us day after day, if he thinks that he could count on us for a second presidency, he is dreaming.
New York City Councilman Oswald Feliz. Israel is found in Gaza. The bodies of 3 more hostages Hamas killed in the October 7th terror attack.
The remains of Hannah Yablonka, Michael Nisbaum and Orion Hernandez were recovered during an overnight operation in Jabalia in Gaza's north. The Israeli military says intense combat was involved. Hamas is believed to still hold 125 hostages, of whom 39 are already dead.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. An American service member is in critical condition and injured along with 2 others on the floating Gaza pier the U.S. military installed to deliver humanitarian aid to Palestinian civilians. Louisiana's legislature has approved a bill to reclassify 2 abortion-inducing drugs as controlled dangerous substances.
But both drugs have other common uses, including inducing labor, stopping hemorrhaging, and treating miscarriages. In a letter to Louisiana lawmakers, more than 200 doctors warned against making it more difficult to prescribe them. Supporters of the reclassification say it'll protect pregnant women from coerced abortions and stop unlawful use. The U.S. Supreme Court heard arguments this year on an effort to restrict access to mifepristone.
That's Fox's Lisa Brady. America's listening to Fox News.
All right, who's there for heroes or their families left behind when a service member or a first responder dies or is catastrophically injured in the line of duty? Who helps our country's homeless vets? I'll tell you who. It's the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. Never forget the sacrifices of our country's greatest heroes. They're hoping all of us will donate $11 a month. Just go to their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org, the letter T, number 2, letter T.org for the Tunnel to Towers Foundation.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website.
Your 24/7 news source, on air, online, and with the KPEL News app. Now the headlines from the KPEL News Center.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Wertz with a look at news on this Friday, May 24th. A few big Republican-backed education wins in the Louisiana Senate. The Finance Committee voted to reinstate $33 million in cuts the House made to fund teacher stipends. Under the latest budget plan, teachers could receive a $2,000 stipend like they did this school year. Support personnel would receive $1,000. The Senate committee also restored $24 million to early childhood education programs that would eliminate the loss of service to young children. The full Senate is sending 2 House measures to the governor's desk. One is the so-called Don't Say Gay bill that bans discussions of gender identity and sexual orientation in the classroom. The other forbids public and private schools, colleges, and daycares from requiring that students have the COVID-19 vaccine. More than $1 million in illegal narcotics are off the streets of Lafayette Parish after sheriff's narcotics agents and SWAT team members confiscated 14 pounds of methamphetamine from a home on Vero School Road. Wednesday's seizure was part of an ongoing investigation that resulted in the arrest of 23-year-old Jada Bontavolio and 23-year-old Christian Archangel. Both were charged with possession with intent to distribute a Schedule II narcotic. Archangel was also booked on a charge of transactions involving the proceeds from drug activity. An electrical issue with a fan caused a fire in a storage room at Judy's Middle School Wednesday night. First responders were alerted by the school's alarm system of a potential issue. Lafayette firefighters arrived and quickly extinguished the fire, but the room and several band instruments were heavily damaged by smoke and water. Lafayette Mayor President Monique Blanco-Boulay will announce who the interim police chief will be at a press conference Tuesday morning. Boulay says a nationwide search is being conducted to find a replacement for Judith Estorge, who is stepping down from the position. The mayor-president says they will be intentional in finding the right candidate for the job to mitigate upheaval in the Lafayette Police Department. NOAA is predicting 17 to 25 named storms, 8 to 13 hurricanes, and 4 to 7 major hurricanes this year. It's the most severe hurricane forecast ever produced by the government weather agency, and it's because of warm sea surface temperatures and La Nina, which allows for more tropical development. Hurricane season begins June 1st. The Ragin' Cajuns baseball team fell to James Madison last night 10-9. A 3-run 7th-inning homer by James Madison's Ryan Dooley helped the team overcome a 6-run deficit. The second loss in the Sun Belt Conference Championship knocked the Cajuns out. They will find out on Monday where their destination will be for the NCAA Regionals. That's a look at your news. I'm Tracy Wards.
The Cajun Heartland State Fair is happening now through June 2nd. The fair is celebrating its 36th anniversary, and you can get the News Talk 96.5 KPEL Mega Pack now. The Mega Pack includes 4 ride wristbands and 4 fair admission vouchers for only $125 each. And you can redeem them on any day of the fair that you choose. Save now when you score the News Talk 96.5 KPEL Mega Pack. Just $125. Get yours today. You can buy the Mega Pack at the Cajun Dome box office or online at CajunDome.com. LUS presents the Cajun Heartland State Fair now through June 2nd at the Cajun Dome. Experience the wild rides on the Gold Star Midway or great bands nightly at the Coca-Cola Grandstand. Or check out the free family entertainment like Scott's World of Magic. Learn more at CajunDome.com or KPEL965.com and click on the Cajun Dome link. Brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL, where Acadiana comes to talk.
Your KPEL News Update brought to you by Home Furniture Plus Bedding with over 40,000 furniture and mattress choices in stock. Take a look at homefern.com.
Plenty of sunshine across Acadiana coming up here over the next couple of days. Temperatures are going to push their way to about 91 degrees this afternoon with a heat index a little bit closer to 100. Winds will be from the south at 10 to 15 miles an hour, and overnight lows are going to be in the mid to upper 70s. Same kind of forecast going into tomorrow. It stays hot and fairly humid over the weekend. A couple isolated showers possible by Monday, better rain chances arriving on Tuesday. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
Okie dokie. We don't have any accidents on the roadways. That's really good news. It is beautiful outside. The sun is coming up, but it's warm and muggy. 80 degrees. KPEL News Time is 7:11 on this Friday, May the 24th. Friday means Firearms Friday. When our friend Caleb Morris with Rustic Renegade comes in, and of course Firearms Friday brought to you by Cajun Patriots. You can find their products at Rustic Renegade. Check them all out too at Cajun-Patriots.com. Caleb, we have some really interesting things to talk about this morning.
Well, first off,
yeah.
Thank you for calling me your friend.
Oh, you're welcome. Yeah. Well, you are. You're my friend. Some of the things that I read these things that you send me, and I'm like, really?
It just blows my mind what the federal government thinks they can get away with.
Yes.
So what it is a while back we were talking about the universal background checks that the White House tried pushing out. And what this is I don't know if you remember, but Biden established a new agency, we'll call it, under the White House, is the White House Agency for Firearm Protection, and put the vice president in charge of it. And then gave a little bit of direction and said, run with this. And the first thing that she did was come out with a white paper that it's not a law. This is a white paper. So it's meant for all dealers such as myself to apply to, and anyone that the ATF is under their purview. So it was any firearm that was sold for profit would have to have a background check. And what they were attempting to do is close what they call the gun show loophole. Because apparently the federal government thinks that when you go to a gun show, that dealers all of a sudden no longer have to abide by federal law, which is 100% wrong.
So the federal government doesn't understand federal law.
Yeah. Because anywhere that we go you
have to laugh because it's so sad, right?
It is. It's dismal. It's heartbreaking. It just shows the layers of bureaucracy and the red tape that they built that they themselves don't understand how to read it.
Right.
So anywhere a dealer such as myself goes, anytime we do business, we have to do a background check. If I want to sell a firearm, we have to do a background check. Even me as the owner of the business, I have to, if I want to buy a gun from the shop, I do a background check. If I want to sell one of my personal firearms, if I've acquired it within the last year, it has to go through the shop. Has to. That's what the law mandates.
Is that because you are a dealer?
Because I'm the dealer.
Okay.
So all of these things were ignored by the Biden White House that we have right now. And what they did is they came out with this white paper that said any firearm sold for profit would have to have a background check done. Like
regardless if you had I've got an extra gun or whatever, and I want to sell it to my brother or my cousin or my friend, and hey, I got this for $500. And if there's no profit made?
That's what it gets me is it says for profit. Now, it goes on to say if you trade it and all this other stuff too, background check must be done. But the main part is for profit. Now, what gets me is the Gun Owners of America. And look, I'm a lifetime NRA member. I joined the NRA fresh out of the military, got my lifetime membership. And the NRA no longer, I don't follow them 100%.
Okay.
The Gun Owners of America, their thing is any infraction upon the Second Amendment is an attack.
Okay.
They will not compromise. Whatever their members say, if their members are like, look, we don't support this, the GOA is going to do everything they can to block it. They're not going to compromise as much as the NRA, which I like that, and I think we need that.
Right.
So the GOA filed a temporary restraining order in Texas, and it passed. But the temporary restraining order on this doesn't apply to Louisiana, Mississippi, and Utah.
Okay.
So right now in Texas, if you sell a firearm for profit, they don't have to do the background check.
Okay.
But yet, as of the 20th, here in Louisiana, if anyone sells a firearm, you are supposed to. Okay. You are legally required to do a background check. Now, what's laughable as well is there has been no direction from the executive branch on how this is supposed to be implemented. I'm willing to bet you could talk to any police department in the area and almost every other dealer in the area and be like, are y'all familiar with this? And no one knows. Because they sent out this white paper with no distance, no direction, no how to, no way to enforce it. But all they're trying to do is make thousands, if not millions, of legal firearm owners criminals.
Okay, so I'm reading here the citizens of the state of Texas, members of the GOA, GOF, and the Tennessee Firearms Association, and the Virginia Citizens Defense League. It may not be enforced against the individual plaintiff, who I'm assuming are those people.
Yeah, correct.
Right?
That's all those people, to include members of the GOA in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Utah. But for some reason, we're excluded from this TRO.
Do we know why?
I don't. And I've been trying to go through it, and I'm trying to figure out why. I'm thinking that maybe it has something to do with this judge, maybe their district that they're in or anything else. Because if it's a higher court that's based out of New Orleans, which is what, the 7th So the 7th and the 9th.
Maybe, yeah.
That covers Texas, Louisiana, a bunch of other places.
Right.
So I'm thinking maybe it was a little bit lower court that didn't have the same reach as the others. Or it could just be the way that judge worded their TRO.
Yeah, because it says here in the article, it doesn't apply to those areas. They were, though, co-filers in the original suit.
Correct.
So, yeah, there are a lot of questions and a lot of, okay, why did it happen this way? That's crazy.
And when you go and you read the original document that the White House came out, the verbiage they used was unlicensed dealers.
Uh-huh.
So an unlicensed dealer is someone who sells firearms for profit, not a collector or anything else.
Uh-huh.
And it even says that if you are their paperwork says that if you're liquidating collection for the purpose of liquidating a estate or so forth, it spells it out, then you don't need to do background checks.
Mm-hmm.
If you're an individual doing it, not a dealer. But if you're using another individual to barter it or work it, or like an auction house or anything, you have to go through an FFL. Have to. So that you can kind of see what they were trying to do, but they royally screwed it up.
Yeah.
Because in the same breath, they're going for profit. And how can you prove? I mean, let's say you bought the firearm when you bought it new. It was worth, let's say you bought something in the 80s and you paid $175 for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here we are today, and you might be able to get $300-$400 for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's for profit.
Right.
Inflation alone would cause that.
How do they prove it? That's a big deal.
That's what gets me is I don't know how in the world they're going to prove it.
The circuit court, by the way, in New Orleans is the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals.
Okay.
I was an odd number and I was too high.
But that's fifth. Was it? But did you say it was a northern part of the state?
No, the Fifth is in like the New Orleans area.
Yeah, that's New Orleans because I think the Third Circuit, that's our area.
Yeah.
Because my friend J.P. Jonathan Perry, sits on the Third Circuit. So, yeah. Perplexing. That's a good word.
It is, and I wish that I had more direction to give the listeners because, we want to be good law-abiding citizens, but at the same time, I don't want my rights stripped away, and that's what this is. This is stripping away rights from individuals. This is creating more and more red tape for people to get stuck in, and it's just disheartening that the White House put this out. First off, it's disheartening they put it out. Secondly, it's disheartening that there has been no follow-up or no direction. And I think that shows the lackluster care and the laissez-faire attitude that the White House has toward the citizens of the United States.
Now, the other article that you sent, new ATF engaged in the business rule, is that the same thing or is that another topic?
That's another topic,
Okay.
which is crazy because it ties in really well.
Okay, so we will take a quick break and we'll be back to talk about engaged in business rule. KPEL News Time is 7:19.
Plenty of sunshine across Acadiana coming up here over the next couple of days. Temperatures are going to push their way to about 91 degrees this afternoon with a heat index a little bit closer to 100. Winds will be from the south at 10 to 15 miles an hour, and overnight lows are going to be in the mid to upper 70s. Same kind of forecast going into tomorrow. It stays hot and fairly humid over the weekend. A couple isolated showers possible by Monday, with better rain chances arriving on Tuesday. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
We have an accident on Clem Drive, which is just off South College. Also showing an accident, the mile marker 101 of westbound I-10. So be careful in those areas. Current temperature is 80 degrees. KPEL News Time is 7:23. On this Friday morning, Firearms Friday with Caleb Morris of Rustic Renegade, brought to you by Cajun Patriots and their gun products, their fishing reel products, and
I might actually get to try out their fishing reel oil this weekend.
Really?
We're going to go to False River, and my youngest is like,
False River.
He's like, Dad, let's go fishing. I was like, well, we're on the water. I'll wet a line and see what it's all about.
Oh, I love False River. Great choice, by the way. First of all, before we get into this next discussion, I do need to fix a statement that I made. The Third Circuit Court of Appeal I was talking about with J.P. Perry is a state appeals court. We were talking about federal appeals court, which is Okay, it's just confusing.
It is very confusing because it's which court overrules this court, which court is for state, which is for federal, and how they overlap. It's a lot to understand.
Yeah. And if you do something in state court and you go up to the Supreme Court, do you go to the U.S.? Anyway, I'm not an attorney, and I don't want to play one on the radio.
Yeah, it's a lot to undertake. I mean, just looking at the white papers, the rules, the regulation that comes out that I have to deal with, it confounds me more often than not.
Mm-hmm. I live my life in a state of confusion. I'm maybe the governor, by the way.
It would be a good core curriculum to start?
What?
Legalese translator.
That would be an app. That'd be a great app to make.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Caleb, we need to work on that.
I think I'd go back to college.
Uh-huh. All right, so this one talks about new ATF engaged in the business, in quotes, rule, engaged in the business rule, blocked by judge, kind of. Okay, What is that about?
So in 2022, the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act passed and went through, and it redefined what it means to be engaged in business as a dealer, like what a dealer would be. And that's also whenever we started having issues with 80%, which were an 80% receiver. If it was sold, so we're talking about a hunk of metal that looks like a receiver. If it was sold with the components to build a firearm, it would be classified as a firearm. But if you took the components to build it out, it was no longer a firearm. That is part of this ruling.
Okay.
So it had a lot of different things to it. This act was actually 450 pages long, and I did not read the whole thing. I have read as much of it as I possibly could before I wanted to run headfirst into a brick wall.
I get it. After this legislative session and trying to read some of those bills, I get it.
So it goes through and it says if you're engaged in the business of firearm sales, you have to have an FFL. Well, then it says the presumptions is that transfers of firearms would fall under these categories. So if you purchase a firearm or dispose of a firearm under these categories, you would need to do a background check. Let's see. No, I'm sorry. You would need to do a background check if you could prove it was a bona fide gift, if you would use it to occasionally obtain a more valuable, more useful firearm. So if you're trading up, if you would occasionally transfer it to a licensee or family member for a lawful purchase, if you're liquidating but not restocking a collection, if you inherit your firearms and you're liquidating the inherited firearms because you don't want to possess them. That's it. Any other transfer of a firearm under this act would require a background check. So if you're trading down, it would require a background check as opposed to trading up. If you're not transferring it to a family member for lawful purposes. So how would we know that? You think your family member is going to say, nah, I'm out to do the wrong thing.
I'm going to shoot somebody or I'm going to go hold up a store or whatever.
So if you're not liquidating, or if you're liquidating and selling off part of your collection with the intent to restock your collection, you would be required to do a background check. So all of these things were supposed to go into effect the same day, May 20th, as this background check rule. So this judge, and forgive me, I don't remember what circuit he's in, but this is a federal judge. This judge blocked it and said that it's too difficult. It's too difficult to understand.
I would agree.
We don't have a clear and easy understanding of this, and why is it even happening? So the GOA was part of this again, and they said that we either need a clear understanding or leave the law as it is. The same thing, Louisiana, Utah, Mississippi are not part of this.
See, and that's what we need to figure out is why. But
it has to be the location of it. I'm trying to figure out.
No, that's okay. But, as you read all of that and the things that have come out of the Biden administration as they relate to firearms and what they call firearm control, it's all a gotcha game.
That's all it is.
It's all a gotcha game. And to me, it puts fear in people to where they don't even want to engage at all. Like, I don't want to. I don't want to even dip my toe into a possible pool of criminality.
Well,
so I'm just not going to go. And so it's making it more difficult for people to own firearms. And for those people who may not be as passionate, they're like, okay, I'm just not going to do it. So they don't even go there.
I think that's the attitude that most people have. We all have a junk drawer in our house.
Absolutely.
Right? And then every once in a while you open that drawer and you're like, man, I should take care of this. I don't want to deal with all that.
I have two. I don't want to deal with
it. And that's how it goes is with the rules that this administration is putting out, with the regulation they're putting out. We open that drawer and we're like, man, I don't want to deal with that because it's going to be a headache. Mm-hmm. And we're allowed legally. We have a period where we can question and write in and say, "Hey, we don't want to abide by this." But we go through it like this white paper that came out. I think it was 210,000 people disagreed with it. That's it. That's a tiny percentage of the population.
Right.
So at that point, the federal government says, "Well, we'll do what we want." Obviously, they don't care. We'll do what we want, and we'll figure it out on the back end. And it just makes it so difficult. The other thing is, how many other people listening right now have heard about this before? We talk about it, but think about all the people that don't listen to this wonderful show.
Right.
They have no clue.
Right.
So
that they have no clue that our Second Amendment rights are and have been under attack for a long time. And under the Biden administration, that has only gotten worse. I mean, that's the reality.
Oh, I don't know what circuit it was in, but it came down to the legal standing. Texas and the other states that are part of it, they laid out specific harms against their state if the rule became effective. Financial harm and the rule restricting trade, as well as harming the citizens of the states. The other states did not explain how their rights were harmed by the rule, so the court could not grant temporary order because they did not explain it well enough to be they were simply part of the lawsuit. They weren't a detailed part of the lawsuit. So Louisiana, we didn't explain ourselves very well, is what it is.
Blake,
we gotta get
on that.
Yeah.
Get on
Blake,
that.
Yeah, Blake's the man.
Yeah,
because in all this, that goes back to the whole deal of what does it mean to conduct business. We just bought a collection from a gentleman, and he's having a rough spot in life and everything else.
Right.
And we bought 100, and we'll call it 190 firearms from him that he'd been collecting, and he thought about selling them out on his own. And then he looked at different things and did research, and he was like, man, if I do this, I could be in a world of trouble. And he's like, I already got enough headache. I already got enough going on. So we were able to come to an agreement and help this gentleman out because that's what we want to do is help people out. But it's just so convoluted. And it seems like the federal government is just trying to ensnare us and put pitfalls in front of us every step of the way.
Well, and you bring up a good point about this gentleman, but not only, the fact that he needed maybe some cash, but as people get older and maybe they have a gun collection and they want to either leave it to somebody or they leave it to somebody and that person just, I don't even want to deal with it, kind of like the junk drawer, and maybe valuable firearms that would be collector's items or would have some meaning. They disintegrate.
We had that happen with another collection about a month and a half ago. A gentleman reached out to us. His brother had passed away. This gentleman lives in Oregon, and the entire estate was left to the brother. So he comes down. He's like, he's got, I think it was 57 firearms or almost 60 firearms, and he could not bring these back to Oregon. And the rest of the family didn't want them. So we sat down with him, went through the whole process, and showed him a value. Like, look, we can sell these for you and do this for you, or we can purchase them from you and do this for you. But either way, this is what needs to get done because some of the firearms had gotten wet. And they had a firearm from the early 1900s that had been in their family for generations.
Oh, see, and it's
that
those
was covered.
Kind of
it was covered in rust. And we're still in the process of restoring it because it's just a beautiful firearm. The parts that aren't destroyed yet, and it's historical. So we just do what we can to help people and to maintain these collections. And it's one of those things like he inherited this and he was like, this is a mess. There's so much with the estate. There's the property, the succession, the vehicles that go along with it because now you got to get those transferred to your name. And if you don't do it in a certain amount of time with the proper succession letters, it's just a whole lot.
Yeah.
So
and these mandates, white papers, whatever you want to call them, coming down, don't make that process any easier for them.
No.
We'll continue Firearms Friday. We need to take a look at local news. KPEL News Time now is 7:34. This hour brought to you by the Matthew James Tax Pros. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
Your 24/7 news source, on air, online, and with the KPEL News app. Now the headlines from the KPEL News Center.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Wirtz with a look at news on this Friday, May 24th. A few big Republican-backed education wins in the Louisiana Senate. The Finance Committee voted to reinstate $33 million in cuts the House made to fund teacher stipends. Under the latest budget plan, teachers could receive a $2,000 stipend like they did this school year. Support personnel would receive $1,000. The Senate committee also restored $24 million to early childhood education programs that would eliminate the loss of service to young children. The full Senate is sending two House measures to the governor's desk. One is the so-called Don't Say Gay bill that bans discussions of gender identity and sexual orientation in the classroom. The other forbids public and private schools, colleges, and daycares from requiring that students have the COVID-19 vaccine. More than $1 million in illegal narcotics are off the streets of Lafayette Parish after sheriff's narcotics agents and SWAT team members confiscated 14 pounds of methamphetamine from a home on Vero School Road. Wednesday's seizure was part of an ongoing investigation that resulted in the arrest of 23-year-old Jada Bontavolio and 23-year-old Christian Archangel. Both were charged with possession with intent to distribute a Schedule II narcotic. Archangel was also booked on a charge of transactions involving the proceeds from drug activity. An electrical issue with a fan caused a fire in a storage room at Judy's Middle School Wednesday night. First responders were alerted by the school's alarm system of a potential issue. Lafayette firefighters arrived and quickly extinguished the fire, but the room and several band instruments were heavily damaged by smoke and water. Lafayette Mayor President Monique Blanco-Boulay will announce who the interim police chief will be at a press conference Tuesday morning. Boulay says a nationwide search is being conducted to find a replacement for Judith Estorge, who is stepping down from the position. The mayor-president says they will be intentional in finding the right candidate for the job to mitigate upheaval in the Lafayette Police Department. NOAA is predicting 17 to 25 named storms, 8 to 13 hurricanes, and 4 to 7 major hurricanes this year. It's the most severe hurricane forecast ever produced by the government weather agency, and it's because of warm sea surface temperatures and La Nina, which allows for more tropical development. Hurricane season begins June 1st. Louisiana vehicle inspection stickers issued for the 2026 year are fading. State troopers are aware of the defect that causes the yellow background to become clear or white. Vehicle owners who received a sticker from January 1 of this year until now may notice that fading, but the inspection tags will remain valid. No action is required from owners. Travelers through the New Orleans airport will now be allowed to use the LA Wallet app as identification. Louisiana residents can present the mobile driver's license or ID card at select TSA checkpoints. The agent will verify the user's identity, and they can breeze through security. 26 other airports across the United States will also accept ID through LA Wallet. Real ID-compliant credentials are required to use the app with TSA equipment. The Ragin' Cajuns baseball team fell to James Madison last night, 10-9. A 3-run seventh-inning homer by James Madison's Ryan Dooley helped the team overcome a 6-run deficit. The second loss in the Sun Belt Conference Championship knocked the Cajuns out. They will find out on Monday where their destination will be for the NCAA Regionals. That's a look at your news. I'm Tracy Wirtz.
Pack your bags. We want to send you and a guest to experience the magic of Def Leppard's Summer Stadium Rock Tour this August. We want to fly you and a guest to San Antonio, Texas, where you'll see Def Leppard, Journey, and the Steve Miller Band in concert at the one and only Alamo Dome. What do you need to do? It's simple. Just listen to News Talk 96.5 KPEL weekdays for the codes you'll need to enter. Every day between now and June 7th at 9, 12, and 3 p.m., you're going to get a code. Enter that into the KPEL app, and you've got a chance to win. You'll get 2 tickets to see Def Leppard with Journey and the Steve Miller Band at the Alamo Dome on Friday, August 16th. Round-trip airfare for 2 to San Antonio, a 2-night hotel stay, and $500 spending money. If you don't have the KPEL app, you need to download it immediately. Listen every day at 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 3 p.m. for your chance to win tickets to the Summer Stadium Rock Tour with Def Leppard and Journey on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
The kids are out of school, and it's Memorial Day, the unofficial start of summer. At my house, we celebrate with my favorite meal, hamburgers. It's great to get outside and grill and enjoy just being together and the, again, unofficial start of summer. And Rouse's Markets is going to help you build a better burger. And they're going to give you a lot of discounts to help you do that. Grab 73% lean ground beef, just $1.97 a pound. No, I did not make a mistake there. Lean ground beef, $1.97 a pound. That's a savings of $2.52 a pound. Grab a large seeded red watermelon, just $5.88. That's a savings of $3.11. Burgers and watermelon, the perfect menu for Memorial Day. A 24-pack of 12-ounce Coca-Cola soft drinks, 3 for $12. Now, if you have seen the prices on soft drinks these days, you know that's a good deal. Listen to me again. A 24-pack of 12-ounce Coca-Cola soft drinks, 3 for $12. And a 30-ounce jar of Blue Plate mayonnaise, just $2.97. That's a savings of $1.32. Got to have that to make the perfect burger. Rouse's Markets honors all our fallen heroes, too, this Memorial Day and every day. These are just a few of the big savings at Rouse's Markets for Memorial Day. Go by, check it out. 4 locations in Lafayette, 1 in New Iberia. Rouse's Markets.
Plenty of sunshine across Acadiana coming up here over the next couple of days. Temperatures are going to push their way to about 91 degrees this afternoon with a heat index a little bit closer to 100. Winds will be from the south at 10 to 15 miles an hour, and overnight lows are going to be in the mid to upper 70s. Same kind of forecast going into tomorrow. It stays hot and fairly humid over the weekend. A couple isolated showers possible by Monday. Better rain chances arriving on Tuesday. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
All right. Got a lot of accidents all of a sudden on the board. Ambassador Caffrey at Dublin Parkway. Another accident, 1400 block of Northwest Evangeline Thruway. Let's see if that's going to populate on the map. All right. That is just south of Willow. So Northwest Evangeline Thruway, just south of Willow. Have an accident, Settlers Trace Boulevard at Boyer Boulevard. Still showing that accident on westbound I-10 at mile marker 101. That's near the university exit. All right, those are them, so to speak. And just popping up, just populating. We have a vehicle accident with injuries, Fufale Road and Executive Road in Lafayette. Hopefully some of those have been moved off the roadway. But you do have some newer accidents that might be slowing you down this morning. Sun is rising on this Friday. It's muggy out there. Starting to feel a whole lot like summer, 80 degrees. KPEL News Time is 7:45. On this Friday morning, it's Firearms Friday. Kayla Morse joining us with Rustic Renegade. Of course, Firearms Friday brought to you by his friends over at Cajun Patriots, Cajun-Patriots.com. You're going to check out their fishing stuff this weekend, huh?
I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
I probably won't catch a fish. You know what? No. I will catch a fish. At least one.
Be positive.
Yeah. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll catch at least one, and I will use their real lube and all that and give it a shot.
But
yeah.
You're going to do catch and release, or are you going to eat that fish?
Well, I'm a firm believer in you eat what you kill.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
well, you can catch and release. That's what Moon Griffon does. Catch and release.
Yeah, but then no, I'm going to eat it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'll take it. I'll fillet it out and I'll eat it. The only thing that I don't do that with is pigs. We have such a bad pig problem here.
Oh yeah.
That you cannot harvest enough of those animals.
Right.
Uh-huh.
And man, I'll give that away.
Oh yeah.
There have been. I haven't done it, but a friend of mine an acquaintance of mine that lives near us, they got 45 pigs on their property recently.
Dang.
It's ridiculous.
And didn't even solve the problem.
No, because
45
so
hogs.
every one pig, every 7 pigs you kill is the equivalent to harvesting one, because they drop 3 litters in a year, and then the first litter they drop in that year can drop 2 litters. So they reproduce so fast, and there's such a problem. They're destroying all the farmland around us. We forget, especially those that live in the heart of Lafayette, you forget that you're surrounded by farmland.
Yep.
And they can do thousands of dollars of damage in a single night or day.
Yeah.
So the pig problem's a real thing.
Oh, yeah. No kidding. No kidding. Okay, so let's talk about constitutional carry, because I was just looking at the calendar, and 6 weeks from yesterday, it becomes law and folks can carry without a permit.
18 years
without a
old,
permit.
18 years old or older, a legal citizen of the United States and legally able to purchase a firearm or possess a firearm, they'll be able to carry concealed in Louisiana. This is something we've been harping on because I think people need to know about it. We've been teaching constitutional carry classes. Tomorrow we have a concealed carry class. The concealed carry class allows you to carry in 38 states.
Now, that's the permitted
That's the permit.
class. Okay.
Yeah. Where constitutional carry gives you the right to carry in I'm going to say one.
Mm-hmm.
Some other states do recognize it, but not all.
Okay.
And I can't know every state's laws or regulation.
Are you sure?
I'm trying, but I lose stuff.
Oh,
Like I was looking for my shoes this morning, and I was reciting other laws.
Yeah. There is a law against losing shoes.
Yeah.
Just ask me. No, I'm kidding. But with Louisiana, you have to be a legal U.S. citizen. Anybody can carry.
Yeah, legal U.S. citizen, 18 years of older, you'll be able to carry. Now, there are restrictions to locations you can carry.
Right, yes.
There are certain physical locations that you cannot. And we go into detail on those with the class. And that's one of the things that Eddie Thibodeau and I have been talking about. Our constitutional carry classes, we're building those together because we want to make sure that we're putting out similar information.
Right.
And the right information.
Right.
And I think that's one of the benefits that I have. We're also doing a Louisiana Firearm Instructor Symposium on June 29th. So that one is anyone who is a current firearm instructor or wants to be a firearm instructor. We're hosting a class. We can house 250 people, and we're going to teach about, Blake's going to be there. We're talking about what constitutional carry is, how to teach students, and what the adult learning theory is, and what we can do to be better instructors in the state of Louisiana.
And that's going to be here in Lafayette?
That's here in Lafayette on June 29th.
Okay, so let's talk about constitutional carry, because there has been some concern from even law enforcement officers and members of the general public about being educated. Like, oh, I can do it, so I'm going to buy a gun and I'm just going to do it. And that has been the concern. But you said you've seen something in the shop that has been a breath of fresh air, if you will.
We've had a ton of people coming in, and look, truthfully, it's younger people, so they're the age of like 21 to 24, and then they're on the other end. We have other people in their 50s coming in, and they're saying, look, constitutional carry is about to pass. Let me start looking at firearms. So then we go through the firearms, and then they come in another day. Well, I want to look at holsters, and they're not buying right now because what I was told by one gentleman yesterday, I believe it was. He's like, man, if I buy this concealed carry holster today, I'm going to want to carry tomorrow. He goes, but I'm just doing my research. I'm preparing. He goes, in the end of June, that way, I'll buy all my stuff in the end of June. That way I have it when July 4th comes. I want to carry legally July 4th. So we're getting a lot of people come in, and they're asking the right questions. They want to know methods of carry, locations of carry, proper maintenance of your firearm that you carry. Because just because you don't shoot it every day doesn't mean you don't have to clean it weekly.
Right.
So we're getting a lot of good feedback from the public on what it means to carry concealed.
Now, these constitutional carry classes, not the concealed carry permit classes, the constitutional carry classes, are you seeing a lot of interest there?
A ton. So we have two different ones. I have one that's a shorter class that we work with the USCCA on that's free. It's 2 hours. And we're packing those classes. Then we have another class that we have that's 4 hours long, where I go into the law, what it says as far as use of force, legal force, and what the law affords you to do. And then we go into the constitutional carry part, and that one's a 4.5 hour class, and that one's $50. Both of those classes have been packed. One of the last ones, we actually had a judge in the class, sat down, talked to him afterwards. We've had a few lawyers come in the class just to see if what their understanding is what we're understanding. We've talked to the GOA about how we teach it. We've talked to the NRA, even USCCA, and all these other organizations. And while I go through and build this curriculum, we're like, look, this is what we're seeing. This is what we're putting out. What are you seeing in other states? That way we can give the best class that we can, and we're filling those up.
Didn't you told us last week that about this particular judge that was in your class, and what did he tell you? He said, you need to do a class for all my judge colleagues.
Correct. He wanted us to come in and do a class just for them. So, like, I'm a Louisiana court-certified firearm expert in the state of Louisiana. So if something happens with a firearm, I'm one of the people that they call to go and represent that design and everything else in court. And I've worked closely with Lafayette Bar Association. I've worked closely with the DA's office here and in St. Landry. And just trying to have the best understanding of the law that I can, because I want to put out the best class with the best information, because it's difficult.
Yeah.
It really is difficult to stay ahead of the curve.
We're in the presence of a famous guru.
I don't know about famous.
An expert. So when we say he's an expert, like, we really mean he's an expert. We have just over a minute left, Caleb, but we talk about the mechanics of the law itself, but are you having any interest in people who say, I've never really been around firearms, but I want to learn? How has that interest been?
We've had more and more people doing that, especially because of constitutional carry coming, and we teach a basic pistol course. And for people that are really fresh, really green, I recommend that course first, because that gets your toes wet. We get the toes up to the ankle on that one. There's no reason to jump into the deep end, and we want to give you a good foundation for education.
And then you follow the yellow brick road, if you will, to being, and that, you've said it so many times when we talked about constitutional carry, it's do it responsibly. And I think that as Second Amendment supporters, proponents, I don't think that there's anybody who will not agree with that.
Oh, I can.
Be responsible.
That's the only way we keep our rights.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah, no. So if you want to know more, give Caleb a call at Rustic Renegade, and make sure when you go by to check out Cajun Patriots products as well, so you can keep your firearms working properly. And if you're a fisherman, go get some of that too. Caleb's going to give us a report next week on how it worked for him. Thanks, Caleb. KPEL News Time is 7. Sorry, let's not go backwards. 7:54.
This Fox Business Report is brought to you by Walter Campbell and Deborah Pierce of Keller Williams Realty. For all of your commercial property needs, reach out to Walter and Deborah today.
I'm Liz Clayman, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Economists at Goldman Sachs now expect the Federal Reserve to cut interest rates in September. The previous forecast was for July. They say recent speeches from Fed officials indicate a July cut would require better inflation numbers and meaningful signs of softness in the economy or labor market. The change in the outlook followed little change in the weekly number of jobless claims and other recent reports. Workday shares are losing ground after the human resources software company lowered its forecast for the year, estimating lower subscription revenue. Shoemaker Deckers Outdoor is reporting a dramatically better quarter than expected. Deckers makes Hoka sneakers and UGG boots. Deckers is raising its forecast for the year, seeing sales up about 10%. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Donald Trump Jr. here. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back, but you can stop your losses by diversifying into a gold IRA from my friends at Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold now.
Message and data rates.
Metal. News Talk 96.5 KPEL, Breaux Bridge, Lafayette.
Trying to get Democrat blue voters to go Republican red this year. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Former President Trump held a big rally.
Thank you, everybody.
In the Bronx, New York City.
Crowd.
An estimated 25,000 were there.
We're going to bring safety back to our streets. We're going to bring success back to our schools. We're going to bring prosperity back to every neighborhood and every borough of the greatest city in our land.
But it is a Democratic stronghold there. No Republicans won a majority of the vote in New York City in a century.
Donald Trump is not welcome to the Bronx.
City Councilman Oswald Feliz told an anti-Trump counter rally. The former president's dreaming if he thinks he can count on the Bronx to be elected again. Israel's armies recovered the bodies of 3 more hostages killed by Hamas in the October terror attack. were then taken to Gaza. Israel says Hamas still has 125 hostages, but only 86 of them are alive. Off the coast of Gaza, something went wrong on that floating pier the U.S. military installed to deliver more aid to Palestinian civilians.
3 U.S. service members were injured while working on a U.S. Navy cargo ship near that pier. 2 of those injuries were minor injuries, but a U.S. defense official says that 1 service member is in critical condition in a hospital in Israel, but that these were non-combat related injuries.
Fox's Alex Hogan. Another American tourist faces sentencing today in Turks and Caicos in the Caribbean
for possessing ammunition on the island. Brian Hagerich could be imprisoned for 12 years.
I believe we've made a very, very strong case in my defense, and hopefully, we're just praying for the judge as well.
Speaking to FoxNews.com, Hagerich was on vacation with his wife and kids in Turks and Caicos in February when authorities at the airport found a box of ammunition in his bag. He claims it was an accident.
Fox's Edmund Brown. 2 other Americans have pleaded guilty to similar charges. 2 others await trial. America's listening to Fox News.
Since 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been committed to supporting our nation's first responders and veterans. They support America's heroes like U.S. Army Major Jonathan Turnbull. Now, Major Turnbull sustained devastating injuries at the hands of an ISIS suicide bomber. Tunnel to Towers gave him a specially adapted smart home designed for his needs. Join Tunnel to Towers. They're hoping all of us will donate $11 a month so this great work continues. Their website, the letter T, the number 2, the letter T.org.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for less. And for a limited time, new customers receive their second month free when they sign up and use promo code MONTHFREE by May 31st. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website.
Your 24/7 news source, on air, online, and with the KPEL News app. Now the headlines from the KPEL News Center.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Wertz with a look at news on this Friday, May 24th. A few big Republican-backed education wins in the Louisiana Senate. The Finance Committee voted to reinstate $33 million in cuts the House made to fund teacher stipends. Under the latest budget plan, teachers could receive a $2,000 stipend like they did this school year. Support personnel would receive $1,000. The Senate committee also restored $24 million to early childhood education programs that would eliminate the loss of service to young children. The full Senate is sending 2 House measures to the governor's desk. One is the so-called Don't Say Gay bill that bans discussions of gender identity and sexual orientation in the classroom. The other forbids public and private schools, colleges, and daycares from requiring that students have the COVID-19 vaccine. More than $1 million in illegal narcotics are off the streets of Lafayette Parish after sheriff's narcotics agents and SWAT team members confiscated 14 pounds of methamphetamine from a home on Vero School Road. Wednesday's seizure was part of an ongoing investigation that resulted in the arrest of 23-year-old Jada Bontavolio and 23-year-old Christian Archangel. Both were charged with possession with intent to distribute a Schedule II narcotic. Archangel was also booked on a charge of transactions involving the proceeds from drug activity. An electrical issue with a fan caused a fire in a storage room at Judy's Middle School Wednesday night. First responders were alerted by the school's alarm system of a potential issue. Lafayette firefighters arrived and quickly extinguished the fire, but the room and several band instruments were heavily damaged by smoke and water. Lafayette Mayor President Monique Blanco-Boulay will announce who the interim police chief will be at a press conference Tuesday morning. Boulay says a nationwide search is being conducted to find a replacement for Judith Estorge, who is stepping down from the position. The mayor-president says they will be intentional in finding the right candidate for the job to mitigate upheaval in the Lafayette Police Department. NOAA is predicting 17 to 25 named storms, 8 to 13 hurricanes, and 4 to 7 major hurricanes this year. It's the most severe hurricane forecast ever produced by the government weather agency, and it's because of warm sea surface temperatures and La Nina, which allows for more tropical development. Hurricane season begins June 1st. The Ragin' Cajuns baseball team fell to James Madison last night 10-9. A 3-run 7th-inning homer by James Madison's Ryan Dooley helped the team overcome a 6-run deficit. The second loss in the Sun Belt Conference Championship knocked the Cajuns out. They will find out on Monday where their destination will be for the NCAA regionals. That's a look at your news. I'm Tracy Wards.
The Cajun Heartland State Fair is happening now through June 2nd. The fair is celebrating its 36th anniversary, and you can get the News Talk 96.5 KPEL Mega Pack now. The Mega Pack includes 4 ride wristbands and 4 fair admission vouchers for only $125 each. And you can redeem them on any day of the fair that you choose. Save now when you score the News Talk 96.5 KPEL Mega Pack. Just $125. Get yours today. You can buy the Mega Pack at the Cajun Dome box office or online at CajunDome.com. LUS presents the Cajun Heartland State Fair now through June 2nd at the Cajun Dome. Experience the wild rides on the Gold Star Midway or great bands nightly at the Coca-Cola Grandstand. Or check out the free family entertainment like Scott's World of Magic. Learn more at CajunDome.com or KPEL965.com and click on the Cajun Dome link. Brought to you by News Talk 96.5 KPEL, where Acadiana comes to talk.
Plenty of sunshine across Acadiana coming up here over the next couple of days. Temperatures are going to push their way to about 91 degrees this afternoon with a heat index a little bit closer to 100. Winds will be from the south at 10 to 15 miles an hour, and overnight lows are going to be in the mid to upper 70s. Same kind of forecast going into tomorrow. It stays hot and fairly humid over the weekend. A couple isolated showers possible by Monday, with better rain chances arriving on Tuesday. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
Still showing that accident with injuries. If you follow road at Executive Road. Northwest Evangeline Thruway just south of Willow. Settlers Trace at Boyer Boulevard. And we still have the accident westbound I-10, mile marker 101. That's near University. Hopefully that's been moved off. That happened about 45 minutes ago. Be careful out there. Getting warm, muggy, feels a lot like summer this morning, even before Memorial Day. Current temperature 82 degrees. Good morning. Welcome back into Acadiana's Morning News on this Friday, May 24th. Some folks beginning their long weekend a day early. Excuse me. It's 8:10 and got some things, though, going on here locally this weekend, Mark. We talked about earlier this week was the anniversary date that Bonnie and Clyde got in their shootout with police in Bienville Parish. Mm-hmm. And there's a Bonnie and Clyde festival that you know about.
Yeah. Well, he said local. It's not really local.
Well,
but Bienville Parish. But, I mean, Louisiana's a tight-knit community, not that far away.
Right.
But, yes, in Bienville Parish, in Gibbsland, Louisiana, is where the Bonnie and Clyde Festival is. And you'd say, when did they start that? A couple of years ago? No, this is the 90th annual Bonnie and Clyde Festival. Yeah, so it's about Gibbsland, about an hour east of Shreveport. And look at it this way, Tracy. If we here in Louisiana can throw a second line parade for a funeral, then we can certainly create a celebration about the life and times of Bonnie and Clyde, two infamous bank robbers. But yeah,
right? We'll celebrate anything in Louisiana.
Right. So it's your typical festival. It's in downtown Gibbsland, but it's complete with a parade, look-alike actors, a high-action reenactment of the infamous ambush. You know, the law enforcement from both Louisiana and Texas ambushed Bonnie and Clyde as they were coming through Gibbsland. And, of course, great food. So there you have it. It starts up today, Friday, May 24th, and runs through Sunday, May 26th. So you have time if you want to. Weather's going to be nice.
Yeah.
If you want to drive up there, I'm sure you could just, it says get info on their Facebook page, or just tell Siri you want to know about the Bonnie and Clyde Festival in Louisiana.
And, you know, then you can recover on Monday if you celebrate more than the law allows.
Memorial Day, remember the reason for that day, but it's certainly a day off. As you've said, unofficial start of summer.
It is. Also kicking off last night was the Cajun Heartland State Fair Go Fun Fun.
Yep.
And I was looking at the list of entertainment, and it's pretty spectacular throughout the the nights that the fair will be open. You have some local favorites. Lil Nate, he's going to play on the final Sunday, which is a week from Sunday. Chris Ardway is going to be on stage throughout the festival. Abby Clare, Dylan Oakwa and the Judy's Ramblers, the Whiskey Chitto Ramblers, Gino V, Kyle Brandon. But there will also be some national artists.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard some chatter about this one. Tomorrow night, Fuel, the band Fuel, is going to be on stage. A lot of folks very excited about that. And next Friday, a week from today, it's the Pop 2000 tour featuring Chris Kirkpatrick with NSYNC. Now, Chris Kirkpatrick, according to Miss Google, founded the pop group NSYNC, in which he sang countertenor, and you will recognize him. So he's going to be on stage. Mm-hmm. Also, O-Town, LFO, and Ryan Cabrera. And absolutely 90s folks, they know those groups, and they know all their music. So it's going to be a whole lot of fun. Of course, there are rides for the kids.
Yep.
Some parents will avoid driving by just so their kids don't see it and start hollering and screaming in the car. But we're going to make it easy for you. We do have a Cajun Heartland State Fair prize pack that we've got to give away. And here's how you could win it. Go to our app. Go to the KPEL app. Download it if you don't have it. There's a chat feature. Send us a chat that says, hey, I want to go to the Cajun Heartland State Fair, or pick me, pick me, pick me. Mm-hmm. And we will take all of the entries. We'll pull a name, and we'll let you know later this morning who wins that Cajun Heartland State Fair prize pack. Maybe you don't want to go. Maybe you have grandchildren.
Sure.
Maybe your sons or daughters want to take their children. We've got that prize pack for you. It has some tickets in it, some ride tickets, all sorts of fun things so that they can enjoy the Cajun Heartland State Fair.
You know what's so cool about one of the things that there's many things, like you said, the music, the food, the drinks at Cajun Heartland State Fair, that ginormous Ferris wheel.
Oh, yeah.
That thing is big.
Yeah.
You are surveying the tree canopy of Lafayette, Louisiana, when you get on that ginormous Ferris wheel. One of the many attractions at Cajun Heartland State Fair.
You know, I am not a fan of heights, and that just came on later in life. I mean, I get the whole panic attack thing, and, you know, I've tried to overcome it, but I can ride a Ferris wheel.
Me too.
It's very, and I love to ride the Ferris wheel because I like to be able to see the horizon and all of the landscape.
You're locked in. That bar goes clunk.
Yeah.
You are locked in.
Yeah.
You can hold on to it. And I agree. I feel safety. My fear of heights does not come in when I'm on the Ferris wheel, no matter how big it is.
Yeah, agreed. So if you want to take the kids, excuse me, and have a good time, hop on our app, send us a chat, and someone's going to win later this morning. KPEL News Time is 8:16.
Fox on Tech.
TikTok wants you to know it's fighting politicized influence campaigns in the U.S. and beyond. TikTok is facing a potential forced sale or ban in the United States over concerns the video-centric social media platform allows China's Communist Party a way to influence young Americans while harvesting data. TikTok has always denied they are under control or direction of China's government. And now in a blog post, TikTok is promising to divulge whatever it finds out about influence campaigns on its network. The platform, owned by China-based ByteDance, says it will unveil and remove accounts or networked accounts engaging in attempts to sway political discourse. It also claims it suspended 15 operations already they claim were targeting voters in the U.S. and were based in the People's Republic of China. The new TikTok law requires a sale to a U.S. operator by January of next year. With Fox on Tech, I'm Eben Brown, Fox News.
Monday is the unofficial start of summer, but it's also the end of Home Furniture's big Memorial Day savings event going on right now. You still have time, so you might want to run over there this weekend. The biggest and best furniture and mattress savings ever, and low payments. Get this, a queen bed as low as $9 a month, a reclining sofa. Aren't those fantastic? From just $15 a month. A plush sectional as low as $36 a month. Amazing deals, plus up to 60 months special financing and no money down and next day delivery. I love that. You don't have to bring a truck. You don't have to bring friends. I'll bring it to your house. See store for details. Hurry. The Memorial Day sales end Monday at Home Furniture Plus Bedding. Remember, they have locations across South Louisiana, and make sure you go by their brand new location to see this beautiful furniture in person. The new location is right on Johnston Street across from the mall and next to Mazin Grill. Home Furniture Plus Bedding, their big Memorial Day savings event going on right.
Why?
Celebrating 20 years of enlightening Acadiana. Moon Griffon, next on News Talk 96.5. KPEL.
Plenty of sunshine across Acadiana coming up here over the next couple of days. Temperatures are going to push their way to about 91 degrees this afternoon with a heat index a little bit closer to 100. Winds will be from the south at 10 to 15 miles an hour, and overnight lows are going to be in the mid to upper 70s. Same kind of forecast going into tomorrow. It stays hot and fairly humid over the weekend. A couple isolated showers possible by Monday. Better rain chances arriving on Tuesday. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5. KPEL. Right now, traffic.
We have an accident, 500 block of Apollo Road in Scott. That is near its intersection with Benoit Patin. So if you come off the interstate and you go around the circle as you're headed on Apollo Road, it's just past the traffic circle there. Another accident southeast of Evangeline Thruway and southeast Pinhook. Vieux-Faulet and Executive Road still showing that accident with injuries. Be careful out there. Current temperature 82 degrees. KPEL News Time is 8:21. On this Friday morning, Tracy Wertz and Mark Pope, thank you so much for joining us. Memorial Day weekend, going into Memorial Day weekend, AAA estimates that 44 million people will travel in the United States. That is more than 38 million road travelers that I think previously, or that was the previous number, I should say. Speaking of travel, and you may have heard about this, earlier this month, Senate Bill 379 passed the House with a 92-0 vote and a 38-0 vote in the Senate, making its way to the governor's desk. It repeals the 2022 law that increases speeding fines on the Basin Bridge, in addition to allowing the state to install those cameras. So they aren't coming.
Mm-hmm. Well, a lot of folks are happy. Look at that vote, though.
I know, a unanimous vote.
Yeah, which is, it's a rarity.
It is absolutely a rarity. And I remember this going through the legislature in 2022, and there was a lot of back and forth. The proponents of these measures really felt like it would mitigate the number of crashes on the board. But it says lawmakers believe, the current ones, the lawmakers believe that the law was less about safety and more about revenue generation for a private company, since the 2022 bill allowed the state to contract with a third-party company, left a bad taste in people's mouths. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The St. Martin and Iberville sheriffs who oversee the bridge have fully supported repealing the law that would put these cameras on the Basin Bridge. And the way it was going to work, I remember, again, I remember when all of this happened, was there was going to be a camera on either end of the bridge. There were going to be cameras on either end of the bridge. Right. And if your car took less than, I think it was 18 minutes to go across the bridge, then you would be issued a ticket.
And that would be challenged in court.
Yep. See, and I don't think I understood, though, that it was going to be facilitated by a private company. I thought that it was going to go through state police. So the repeal makes sense because, why do it? Yeah. He actually signed, Governor Jeff Landry did sign this bill into law on Wednesday afternoon. It says here, safety is still the top priority, and they will continue to ensure that those who travel on the Basin Bridge do so safely and follow the speed limit. Sheriff Beckett Bro, this is a quote, Sheriff Beckett Bro has always made it a top priority to ensure the safety and well-being of our community, but continually advocating for public safety and effective traffic enforcement. Sheriff Bro testified actually in April, in front of the Senate Transportation, Highway and Public Works Committee alongside Sheriff Brett Stasi of Iberville Parish in support of the bill. It sought to put an end, of course, to speed cameras and higher fines. So very interesting because I remember when the law passed, for months after that, people would post on social media, hey, when are the speed cameras coming? When is all this happening? Blah, blah, blah. Now, what has already gone into effect on the Basin Bridge is the same speed limit for cars and trucks.
Yeah. Agreed. And look, I was just on I-10 last Sunday across the Basin Bridge and a lot farther than that. And this has been my observation over the years. I've been on the Basin Bridge a lot.
Right.
I certainly don't commute to between Lafayette and Baton Rouge every day, but I'm on there a lot. I have never seen a wreck on the Basin Bridge. I know they happen.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Also, and just I-10 in general, my observation, Tracy, is that those wrecks happen because of not in totality, not entirely, but because of aggressive drivers.
Oh, without a doubt. I would agree with that statement.
Tailgating and, weaving in and out. And yeah, it's like, cool your heels. Bubba, you're not driving the Indianapolis 500.
And they do that every day on interstate, whether it is the Basin Bridge or not. I take interstate back and forth from work home, and coming in, it's not bad because at 4:00 in the morning, there's just not a whole lot of people on the road. It's very pleasant, right? It's like me and the truckers. But when I go home after work, people are insane.
Oh, yeah.
They are insane. And I have to tell you a quick story, and then we got to go to news because this blew my mind. And somebody listening, if you saw this, let us know. Like, send us a message in chat. I was on Settlers Trace. I think it's Settlers Trace on the other side of
the bridge.
No. Yeah, I was on the other side of the bridge. But what I mean is, okay, they have Ambassador Caffrey. I was on the same side as Academy and at home. I was on that side.
Correct.
And I was coming out of the parking lot where the Albertsons is. I turned left. I turned right to get to the left turn lane to turn back onto Ambassador Caffrey. As I'm turning, I see in the traffic headed in the opposite direction, these objects being thrown at another car from a car. And I thought, at first it looked like water balloons. I thought, what is going on here? And then I see the cars, and look, these weren't the only two cars, so they were putting other drivers in danger. They are switching lanes, and they aren't all moving very fast. And then the next thing I see in my rearview mirror is one of the car doors opens, and more things start being thrown at this other car. My husband had just called me. I was on the phone, and you see that, and I was like, oh my God. And he said, are you okay? And I said, yes, these two cars are throwing stuff at each other. It was insane.
What did you figure out what they were throwing?
No. And I don't know what happened after the fact. But I was so glad I wasn't traveling in the same direction they were.
It sounds like that movie with all these big tanks and, I forget the name of it, where the world has just devolved into this I don't know, episode of survivability.
Yeah.
And it's, golly, that's nuts.
Only they weren't tanks. They were like Chevy Darts or something, It was crazy. It was just insane. If you saw what I'm talking about, let me know. KBell News Time, 8:29. You open your medication at night. Maybe it's blood pressure medication or something you take every single day, and it's empty. And you think, oh, gosh, I have such a busy day tomorrow. I don't have time to go to the pharmacy. I've got a solution for you. Neighbors Pharmacy. Yes, transfer your prescriptions to Neighbors Pharmacy because they offer free delivery. They'll bring it to you. You don't have to worry about making a stop at the pharmacy, making time in your schedule. Neighbors Pharmacy has you covered. Go to neighborspharmacy.com to find out all the services they have. They even do those daily dose packs, which are great because if you take multiple medications, it makes it really easy to just grab exactly what you need for that day without opening bottles and making sure you took one and didn't take the other. Just take the hassle out of all of it. Call Neighbors Pharmacy. And remember, right now, they are offering oral semaglutide weight loss drugs. That's right. You know what I'm talking about. The weight loss drug that everyone is on and having wonderful results with. Well, they offer it in an oral form. You put a drop under your tongue and watch the weight melt away. You use it daily. Make sure you call your doctor, talk to him, and then have him call in that prescription to Neighbors Pharmacy. They compound it right there in their lab so you can trust the product you're getting. Neighbors Pharmacy. Remember, too, that they're much more than a pharmacy. They have a wonderful gift shop. So whatever you need a gift for, Father's Day, a birthday, a graduation, a baby shower, a wedding, they've got you covered. Neighbors Pharmacy. They're located on Johnston Street, right near West Broussard. Go by today, check it out, or call. Transfer those medications and take advantage of free delivery.
KPEL covers Acadiana with Lowry's Printing and Copying.
Registration for Games of Acadiana, Acadiana's ultimate scavenger hunt, is now open. The virtual scavenger hunt is free with over 75 missions or adventures available, and it's great fun for the entire family. Get more details at milesperret.org/GOA. 2024 Sheriff Mark Garber Youth Golf Tournament, 2 days, Wednesday, June 26th and Thursday, June 27th. The 26th for 6 to 11-year-olds and the 27th accommodates 12 to 17-year-olds. All the activities of the tournament are free. It's at the Hebert Municipal Golf Course on Mudd Avenue. There are also free instructional clinics Tuesday, June 18th through June 20th. Get more details about this great golf tournament. You get a T-shirt, drinks, and lunch for the kids. Call 337-456-6596.
This is House Call for Health. AAA officials predict nearly 44 million travelers will go 50 miles or more by car or plane over the Memorial Day holiday period, saying they haven't seen numbers like that in almost 20 years. Motor vehicle accidents are one of the leading causes of death for travelers, though. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention with a few traffic and road safety tips. Always wear a seatbelt. If you have kids, make sure they are in appropriate car or booster seats. Be careful of driving at night, especially in an area you're not familiar with. Be sure to wear a helmet if you're riding a motorcycle. Only ride in marked taxis and always wear your seatbelt in them when possible. Also, try to avoid riding in overcrowded or overweight or top-heavy buses or vans. Don't use your cell phone while driving. And of course, don't drink and drive. For more health news, go to foxnewshealth.com. House Call for Health, Elisa Brady, Fox News.
This hour brought to you by the Matthew James Tax Pros. Find them online at MatthewJamesTaxPros.com.
Your 24/7 news source, on air, online, and with the KPEL News app. Now the headlines from the KPEL News Center.
Good morning. I'm Tracy Wertz with a look at news on this Friday, May 24th. A few big Republican-backed education wins in the Louisiana Senate. The Finance Committee voted to reinstate $33 million in cuts the House made to fund teacher stipends. Under the latest budget plan, teachers could receive a $2,000 stipend like they did this school year. Support personnel would receive $1,000. The Senate committee also restored $24 million to early childhood education programs that would eliminate the loss of service to young children. The full Senate is sending 2 House measures to the governor's desk. One is the so-called Don't Say Gay bill that bans discussions of gender identity and sexual orientation in the classroom. The other forbids public and private schools, colleges, and daycares from requiring requiring that students have the COVID-19 vaccine. More than $1 million in illegal narcotics are off the streets of Lafayette Parish after sheriff's narcotics agents and SWAT team members confiscated 14 pounds of methamphetamine from a home on Vero School Road. Wednesday's seizure was part of an ongoing investigation that resulted in the arrest of 23-year-old Jada Bontavolio and 23-year-old Christian Archangel. Both were charged with possession with intent to distribute a Schedule II narcotic. Archangel was also booked on a charge of transactions involving the proceeds from drug activity. An electrical issue with a fan caused a fire in a storage room at Judy's Middle School Wednesday night. First responders were alerted by the school's alarm system of a potential issue. Lafayette firefighters arrived and quickly extinguished the fire, but the room and several band instruments were heavily damaged by smoke and water. Lafayette Mayor President Monique Blanco-Boulay will announce who the interim police chief will be at a press conference Tuesday morning. Boulay says a nationwide search is being conducted to find a replacement for Judith Estorge, who is stepping down from the position. The mayor-president says they will be intentional in finding the right candidate for the job to mitigate upheaval in the Lafayette Police Department. NOAA is predicting 17 to 25 named storms, 8 to 13 hurricanes, and 4 to 7 major hurricanes this year. It's the most severe hurricane forecast ever produced by the government weather agency, and it's because of warm sea surface temperatures and La Niña, which allows for more tropical development. Hurricane season begins June 1st. Louisiana vehicle inspection stickers issued for the 2026 year are fading. State troopers are aware of the defect that causes the yellow background to become clear or white. Vehicle owners who received a sticker from January 1 of this year until now may notice that fading, but the inspection tags will remain valid. No action is required from owners. Travelers through the New Orleans airport will now be allowed to use the LA Wallet app as identification. Louisiana residents can present the mobile driver's license or ID card at select TSA checkpoints. The agent will verify the user's identity, and they can breeze through security. 26 other airports across the United States will also accept ID through LA Wallet. Real ID-compliant credentials are required to use the app with TSA equipment. The Ragin' Cajuns baseball team fell to James Madison last night 10-9. A 3-run 7th-inning homer by James Madison's Ryan Dooley helped the team overcome a 6-run deficit. The second loss in the Sun Belt Conference Championship knocked the Cajuns out. They will find out on Monday where their destination will be for the NCAA Regionals. That's a look at your news. I'm Tracy Wards.
Pack your bags. We want to send you and a guest to experience the magic of Def Leppard's Summer Stadium Rock Tour this August. We want to fly you and a guest to San Antonio, Texas, where you'll see Def Leppard, Journey, and the Steve Miller Band in concert at the one and only Alamo Dome. What do you need to do? It's simple. Just listen to News Talk 96.5 KPEL weekdays for the codes you'll need to enter. Every day between now and June 7th at 9, 12, and 3 p.m., you're going to get a code. Enter that into the KPEL app, and you've got a chance to win. You'll get 2 tickets to see Def Leppard with Journey and the Steve Miller Band at the Alamo Dome on Friday, August 16th. Round-trip airfare for 2 to San Antonio, a 2-night hotel stay, and $500 spending money. If you don't have the KPEL app, you need to download it immediately. Listen every day at 9 a.m., 12 noon, and 3 p.m. for your chance to win tickets to the Summer Stadium Rock Tour with Def Leppard and Journey on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
Attention fishermen. The fish are biting across the state, and now is a perfect opportunity to be on the water. Hunters for the Hungry is a nonprofit that encourages sportsmen in Louisiana to donate a portion of their game or fish to the hungry of our state through food banks. Now you can also help by providing a monetary donation when you purchase your fishing or hunting license online at wlf.louisiana.gov or your local license provider. Please check yes and donate to Hunters for the Hungry. Follow Hunters for the Hungry on Facebook and Instagram for more ways to show that sportsmen who care share.
Every day at 5 p.m. right here on News Talk 96.5 KPEL, it's me, Joe Cunningham, with The Joe Cunningham Show, offering you news, analysis, and commentary you're not going to get anywhere else. The big news stories of the day, and even some of the headlines you may not be aware of. It's your local, state, and national news coverage from a local perspective right here. Every day, News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Check us out, The Joe Cunningham Show, every day at 5 p.m.
Plenty of sunshine across Acadiana coming up here over the next couple of days. Temperatures are going to push their way to about 91 degrees this afternoon with a heat index a little bit closer to 100. Winds will be from the south at 10 to 15 miles an hour, and overnight lows are going to be in the mid to upper 70s. Same kind of forecast going into tomorrow. It stays hot and fairly humid over the weekend. A couple isolated showers possible by Monday, with better rain chances arriving on Tuesday. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
We have an accident on University near its intersection with Highway 90. So be careful there. Another accident still showing at Apollo Road in Scott. That's right as you exit the traffic circle. About a block down, you're going to find an accident. Southeast Evangeline Thruway and Southeast Pinhook Road, and still showing that accident with injuries, Eufaula and Executive Road. So be careful in all those areas. Sun coming up, or has come up rather, on this Friday, 82 degrees. KPEL News Time is 8:43. Good morning. Tracy Wertz, Mark Pope. Big
You low
announcement.
riding? You low riding?
I'm low riding.
All right.
Yeah, low riding. A lot of folks are going to be riding to the beach, riding
That's
to Falls River, just riding to have some barbecue with friends. It's a big
Have
barbecue weekend.
all the fun you want, you need. Just be careful.
That's right. Yesterday, the governor and the first lady made the announcement that Louisiana residents flying out of Louis Armstrong International Airport in New Orleans can show their mobile driver's licenses or ID cards that they have in LA Wallet to pass through TSA to get through security, which is nice because if you fly, your boarding pass can go or does go into your Apple Wallet if you have an iPhone. But you always have to take out your driver's license from your wallet, and that can be a pain, right? Yep. Well, now you can do everything on your phone. Mm-hmm. I love this. Currently, 27 airports across the country are going to accept LA Wallet with Real ID as identification. Now, you may not be a driver's license, maybe you just have a Louisiana identification card. It also goes to LA Wallet. Now, the stipulation is that, but this is for LA Wallet in general. You have to have a real ID. Mm-hmm. That's where you go, and you have to give your blood type and your shoe size, and
life history,
your great grandmother's maiden name or what. No, but there's a lot of things that are involved in getting a real ID. But once you have it, and your information goes to LA Wallet. I love LA Wallet.
Sure. Makes life convenient, more convenient.
Oh, yeah. Your hunting and fishing licenses go there. But if you are traveling, if you're flying, and if you're going out of New Orleans, just know that you don't even have to take your driver's license out of your purse, wallet, whatever. And that, I know, it's a small aggravation, but it's just one less thing.
Yeah.
To complicate life.
True, but generally women carry purses.
Right.
Little more motion and a few more steps to get that driver's license out. Men carry, generally reach in their back pocket. A little bit easier, but look, not to overturn your point about LA Wallet, certainly a good thing, and just makes
I don't
life
know, Mark.
more
My husband has to, it's a process for him to get it out.
Really?
Oh, yeah, because he has one of those little pockets where it shows through the little window, you know?
Yeah.
And it's always in his pocket, and it gets stuck. Every single time. And we've traveled with friends, and some of those gentlemen have the same problem. Mm-hmm. And so I'm telling you, if you asked him, is it hard to get your wallet out of your ID out of your wallet? And he was like, oh, yeah. Oh, no. Yeah. And the problem is that they have to scan it or whatever, and it's not just the front.
Sure.
It's just a pain. It's just one less aggravation.
Right.
Right. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yes, indeedy.
Also excited about the fact that we do have Cajun Heartland State Fair prize packs to give away. And I'll tell you what, Caller number 3 right now at 337-232-1542 will win one of those Cajun Heartland State Fair prize packs. So give us a call. We want you to win. We want to make you smile. Cajun Heartland State Fair going on now. It started last night through next Sunday. 337-232-1542. KPEL News Time, 847.
Plenty of sunshine across Acadiana coming up here over the next couple of days. Temperatures are going to push their way to about 91 degrees this afternoon with a heat index a little bit closer to 100. Winds will be from the south at 10 to 15 miles an hour, and overnight lows are going to be in the mid to upper 70s. Same kind of forecast going into tomorrow. It stays hot and fairly humid over the weekend. A couple isolated showers possible by Monday, with better rain chances arriving on Tuesday. From the Storm Team 3 Weather Lab, I'm KTC meteorologist Daniel Phillips on News Talk 96.5 KPEL.
News Talk 96.5 KPEL. Right now, traffic.
All righty, friends and neighbors. We have an accident, Highway 90 East at Ambassador Caffrey and Broussard. Another accident near Highway 90. This one, actually, it's on University, about a block or so from 90. Apollo Road in Scott, that's as you come off the traffic circle, about a block down. Still showing the accident southeast of Angelin Thruway and southeast Pinhook. And the vehicle accident with injuries, Fufale Road at Executive Road. Hopefully some of those have been moved off the roadway and won't slow you down. Current temperature is 82 degrees. KPEL News Time is 8:52 as we wrap up the show on this Friday morning ahead of a Memorial Day weekend. Congratulations to Russell Thibodeau. He picked up that Cajun Heartland State Fair prize pack. He and the family are going to go and have a good time. And Russell, if you ride the big Ferris wheel, take a picture and send it to Mark and I. We would love to see that. Mark's still sports going on. Want to let you know we talked about LSU yesterday and the fact that despite the fact that they haven't had a great season, LSU shortstop Michael Braswell drove home the game-winning run in last night's game from behind. They won 11-10 over South Carolina in the SEC tournament. The Tigers will play again on Saturday in the semis of the SEC tournament. So congratulations and good luck to the LSU Tiger baseball team.
Agreed. I'm not one of those ones that, it's UL all the way. I pull for both teams. Unless UL plays LSU,
I'm pulling for UL. Absolutely.
No doubt about it. But yeah, congrats to the Tigers. Like you said, kind of a substandard year for them, but they're in the SEC tournament. They have not lost a game. Yeah. And they're in the semifinals tomorrow. So congrats. Okay, so just a little quick rewind to Ragin' Cajun softball. They had a great year. Their season ended here last week, and they lost to Baylor in Lafayette at a regional where there's 4 teams playing, and Baylor won that regional.
Right.
And they'll go on to play Florida in the Gainesville Super Regional, and the winner of that game would go on to the College World Series. Okay, so now, segue to baseball. As your news story mentioned, Ragin' Cajuns in the Sun Belt Conference tournament in Montgomery, Alabama, and they lost 2 games in a row.
Okay. It was a double elimination tournament.
Double elimination tournament. So they lost on Wednesday, 7-3. And that was against Old Dominion. And then I figured they'd come storming back. Well, not quite storming. Yesterday's game, they played James Madison. Those 2 teams, by the way, are recent members of the Sun Belt Conference.
Okay.
So they played James Madison. They had the lead, and then they lost it. So anyway, they lost 10-9. They're out, but it is speculated that they will be in a regional, those regional contests, the 16 regional sites and the 4 teams at each regional will be announced on Monday. They're saying the Cajuns will be there. So a lot to look forward to. You got NBA playoffs going on right now, and anyway, it's the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference finals. The WNBA Caitlin Clark is new. There's been a lot of hype about her joining the Indiana Fever. She's doing okay.
Yeah.
She's got a lot to learn. And then, of course, Angel Reese from LSU is with the Chicago Sky, the team. And both ladies are doing well. They have a good bit to learn.
Yes.
So it's a long, hot summer, and you got Major League Baseball. So, there's sports out there. But it's like we said, it's summer, it's hot. And we have, of course, football to look forward to.
Oh, yeah. And, as I think about Angel and Caitlin, they went from being big fish in a little pond to being little fish in a very big pond.
Good analogy.
But good luck to those ladies. Also, in the release that the Raging Cajuns sent, it sounds like they are pretty sure that they will be going to the NCAA regionals. The sentence reads, the Raging Cajuns will wait to find out their destination for the NCAA regionals Monday. That announcement will be made at 11 o'clock. So will we carry those games here if that happens?
Oh, sure. Oh, okay. Yeah. News Talk 96.5 KPEL is the station all year long for the Raging Cajuns. Yes, their regional games will be here on KPEL.
Yeah, because sometimes I know maybe it's NFL or something. When they get to a certain level, then they, the licensing and the rights, et cetera, kind of go crazy. Thank you so much for joining us on this Friday morning. We hope you have a great, safe Memorial Day weekend. Have a good day and God bless.
The Fox Business Report is brought to you by Gulf Coast Bank, your local community bank. Whether your financial needs are for an individual, a business, or for the whole family, Gulf Coast Bank has the knowledge and products to serve you best. With 9 convenient locations throughout Acadiana, you're never far from a friendly Gulf Coast Bank associate.
I'm Neil Cavuto, and this is the Fox Business Report.
Crude oil futures are lower on concerns that the Federal Reserve will keep interest rates elevated for longer. Oil traders fear the economy slowing, which would lower demand for oil and gas. Goldman Sachs economists now see the Fed cutting interest rates in September. The previous forecast was for July. There are more signs of shoppers looking for bargains. Ross Stores is raising its forecast for the year. Its sales at existing stores were up 3% in the recent quarter. Lucid Group, the California-based electric vehicle maker, says it will restructure and cut about 400 jobs. Its EVs are made in Arizona. It lost more money than expected in the recent quarter. EV demand is softening. That's your Fox Business Report. I'm Ginny Cosola, invested in you.
Donald Trump Jr. here. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back, but you can stop your losses by diversifying into a gold IRA from my friends at Birch Gold Group. To learn more, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word SHELTER to 989898. That's SHELTER to the number 989898 to get your free info kit from Birch Gold.
Cities around Lafayette Parish are growing and fast. What are the mayors doing to keep up, and how does that affect you? We find out every Wednesday morning at 7 when we talk to the leaders of each city about what they're doing and what they plan to do as more residents and businesses move in. Tune in for Mayor's Minutes, Wednesday morning at 7 on News Talk 96.5 KPEL, on air and on the KPEL app.